To the left, you can see the remastered scene of the Tin's Woodsman sequence, where on the right, you can see a midget hanging in the background of the original cut. This actor was refused the lead position for the Munchkin role and hanged himself on set as a result. This movie is said to be symbolic of the coming New World Order. The yellow brick road represents people following the money. Satan is represented by the Wizard of Oz, who claims to have the power of God, but in the end will be exposed and shamed. The Tin Man represents the oil companies that will fuel this one world government. The lion represents the greedy politicians who have no courage to do what is right. The straw man represents the Social Security card, which the federal government uses to do business in your name without your permission. One more. All right, welcome everybody to the Aftershow. We're going to talk about the Wizard of Oz. Conspiracy theory, Wizard of Oz. Seems to be some truth to it, some pretty dark history behind this movie. Iger, you sent me that one on Instagram, which I've seen. It's pretty trippy. I haven't seen like that side of it, so I'd really like to share that. Is there a way that you can share it? Or are you even there? Nope, I don't think because Iger's still muted, so he's not there yet. We'll wait till he gets here. But so when Dorothy is like caught up in this tornado, this is basically the like World War I and World War II, the start of this United Nations, where all these nations come together and then they form like a brand new world, okay, a new world order. And so when she says, you know, we're not in Kansas anymore, Toto, that's what she's referring to, you know, this new world order, where there's like a yellow brick road. It's all, you know, filled with money, and the straw man. Okay, he's pretty interesting. The straw man represents the fake corporate identity of each person in America. So America is going to be the wallet to fund this new world order. Right now, you know, it's using us. You know, when we get a Social Security card, when we get a birth certificate, when we get a license, or, you know, other forms of ID, they can actually be used to do business in your name without your permission. So this is a way that they take control, you know, of people's money. They right now they have most of our money, right? Now they just want the rest of it. So I'll show you something here. On the Social Security card, there was a red number. Okay, on the bottom right-hand corner, when you turn it over, everybody has one. Now this number is supposed to be tied to some private British bank account. Okay, they actually like can do transactions in your name. When you get a birth certificate, you know, more money can be drawn out. You know, it's kind of like when they go to the Federal Reserve to ask permission, you know, to print more money or to get more money, some kind of loan. That's one of the ways that they can actually do that, is to use your corporate identity. So you have United States, lowercase u. It's the actual United States composed of all the actual people, and then capital U, United States. It's like the federal government, you know, which has all of our money. You know, that we're no longer under the gold standard. We have currency. We have this legal tender when it used to say on the dollar. Let me get it out of my wallet. I better keep this thing out because I might need it. But it used to say, hope I have a 1 in here. Says now that this note, where is it? This note is legal tender for all debts public. Used to say that it's exchangeable for gold or silver. So you could get it back in gold if you wanted to back in the day before they kind of constructed Fort Knox. And now they have all the gold. Everybody's using cash, and you can't just go and get your money in gold anymore. It's not worth that much, really. So gold is the standard. It's always been the standard and always will be the standard. And, they have all that gold right now. So follow the yellow brick road. Everybody is supposed to be, on the path to succeed and going to college and earning as much money as they can. And that's what Satan is basically occupying people with, is their, obsession with money and fame and power. And so it keeps them going in that direction, while at the same time, because they have incorporated themselves by getting the birth certificate and the social security card, incorporated themselves, and now, they're a part of this bank. Okay, they're part of the system. So you got the real Chris Silvius, me, and then you got the corporate Chris Silvius, which belongs to America. I don't know nothing about what they do with my name out there, but certainly things are going on. So so it's interesting. But the guy that actually was hung on scene, some people say that they tried to cover it up and make other stories, like it was a bird in the background or something, but it really was like this crazy midget, that was suicidal because he didn't get the lead role for the Munchkin position. So this actor committed suicide on scene, right before it cut to where it shows the trees, and that's why it's singing, going back and forth. So pretty dark, and some other dark things in that movie that we could get into. But so the straw man, he's the false identity. It's a social security card. And then the Tin Man, let me get a drink. The Tin Man is the oil companies, because he's always saying, I need oil. I need oil. So they pave all of these highways and they make all of these corporations gain a monopoly over the market. And they do that with oil. They gain a monopoly over oil as well. There was a Rockefeller. He actually had this technique where he would buy a gas station, and then he would dramatically lower the price of his gas in order to beat out all the competitors. He would do that for like a couple of months until they all closed down, out of his own pocket. He would just lose money for like 2 months, and then he would just double the price basically of the gas after they all went out of business. And that's kind of illegal to do now, but he did it and gained a lot of money, and he had a lot of money. Okay, one of the richest people in the world ever in history. So a lot of that money is in the hands of private bankers today. That half or most of the debt of the United States is actually owed to itself, private investors that are within the United States. Let's see, the lion, he represents the politicians that have courage to stand up and do what's right. Strawman's false identity. The lion, politician, crooked, no courage to do what's right. Only big and powerful. Then you got the Tin Man, who has no oil. Get everybody going to and fro to their monopolized corporations. They're controlling us through basically cars, oil, to get us to work for them. Otherwise, people would be working in the local areas and marrying their neighbors and stuff like that, the way that America used to be before they established the Walmarts and these just crazy, out of control monopolies. These major corporations should not exist, in my opinion, because that's an easy way for private bankers to take over the country. You don't want them to get a monopoly over us. Like the average person needs to maintain control of the property. That's what the original slogan was, these truths we hold to be self-evident, man are created equal. Among these rights are like, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, but the original slogan being life, liberty, and private property, because that's essential to being free. If you own a piece of land in America or you own a car, you don't actually own it because you have to pay taxes on it. So it's not actually yours. That's because they just straight up have a monopoly over us. Welcome, Iger.
The Wizard of Oz, written by L. Frank
Oh, yeah.
Baum, a mere child's story.
I don't see the screen, though.
Ounces.
Here.
What is measured in ounces?
Oh, my bad, bro. No, I didn't realize I was on mute. But
Yeah, can you share that Instagram video?
I'm trying to even it says something about I sent it on vanish mode. But I'm gonna try to reload it and see what happens. But I'll share the screen. Should be able to. But all right.
Nice.
Wizard of Oz, meaning the Wizard of Oz, what it really means. This appears to be a message to expose the banking cartel in America and to let the people know that they have the power to liquidate them and get back to Kansas, the real land, Republic, Habakkuk 2.6-8. The Wizard of Oz, written by L. Frank Baum, is not a mere child's story. What is Oz a symbol for? Ounces. What is measured in ounces? Gold. What is the yellow brick road? Bricks or bars of gold. The character known as the straw man represents that fictitious, all-caps, legal fiction, the federal U.S. government created with the same spelling as your birth name. Remember what the straw man wanted from the Wizard of Oz? A brain. No juristic person, legal fiction, paper corporation has a brain because she has no breath of life. What did he get in place of a brain? A certificate, a birth certificate for a new legal creation. Wizard of Oz, meaning the Wizard of Oz, what it really means. This appears to be a message to expose the banking cartel in America and to let the people know that they have the power to liquidate them and get back to Kansas, the real land, Republic, Habakkuk 2.6-8. The Wizard of Oz, written by L. Frank Baum.
That was it. I'm sure the video is longer originally, but this is just the one I came across. You're muted. You're muted.
Oh. After the movie's over, like, she's waking up and it was like all a dream. So that's kind of like America, the corporate reality is like set up really to establish a new world order that the average person isn't necessarily supposed to know about. But they got plans.
Yep.
The way that you get back to Kansas, though, is you live off of the grid, basically. Give up all of the Social Security card, you give back your birth certificate, and there's somehow a way to actually redeem the straw man when you do that. So you can get money from the federal government because all the transactions they did using your name could prove it. It's been done. I haven't done any hard research on it, but it's out there. Redeeming the straw man theory.
I heard about that. a couple weeks ago actually. And I followed the channel. There's like a guy I guess apparently talks about that all the time, but I can't remember his name. Let me see if I can Google it up.
All right, Matt. While you're looking that up, I'm gonna share this real quick.
Go for it, man.
It's a little article that was down on it, because like all of that is pretty interesting. You know, you can make all of those connections, and then also though, the Wizard of Oz, he's Satan. You know, Satan is represented by the Wizard of Oz, who appears to have all of this power. You know, but he's going to be brought low, being cast into the bottomless pit, be shamed. You know, for all the signs and the wonders that the Antichrist and the false prophet will do, and then the devil himself, when he's released out of hell, you know, you got the battle of Gog and Magog. He's going to be cast into the lake of fire with the Antichrist and false prophet. And so they're going to be utterly put to shame. And the Bible says when he's cast in the bottomless pit, people in hell will actually speak, you know, and cry out. Like, is this the man who brought the nations down to nothing? You know, is this the man that we thought was so incredible? Are you here with us? And that's what we'll think of Satan when we see him, when we see this done to him. Because he's nothing compared to God, people received by him. He's just smoke and mirrors, essentially. All right, here we go. Unpacking the myth of the Wizard of Oz's hanging munchkin. Did a member of the supporting cast really commit suicide on the set of the classical musical? Released 80 years ago. So I don't know when this article was. I'll go ahead and agree to this. I haven't read it, but whatever. At least 80 years old. Pioneering use of Technicolor. They feel is notorious for exacerbating Judy Garland's use of amphetamines and barbiturates. What is barbiturates? I don't know that word. Do you know it, Iger? Don't be afraid to talk down to me.
I'm sorry. What?
Barbiturates. Do you know that word? Because I don't know.
I never heard of that.
But it's saying that it's basically showing, like, it gives her like a personality of someone who's like on dope. She's like tweaking throughout the movie. Like, you can see it in her eyes. You can see it in her face. She's just like, you know, boom, you know, live, dude. Because she's in this like fantasy world, dude. She's somewhere over the rainbow. Anyways, it's pretty trippy. Prescribed to her at the behest of Louis B. Mayer in order to increase the young star's productivity on set and her self-image issues. So she was actually prescribed amphetamines for the movie. That's what it's saying. I don't know where this article is coming from, but it's got a lot of information on it. Mayer later referred to the 16-year-old as his little hunchback, and in 1947, less than 10 years after her first breakthrough role, Garland tried to kill herself for the first time. Darkness abounds in The Wizard of Oz. The man originally to play the Tin Man, Buddy Ebsen, ended up in an iron lung after his silver makeup made of aluminum powder got into his lungs. Oh my God. Wicked Witch Margaret Hamilton spent time in the hospital suffering second-degree burns on her face and third-degree burns on her hand. Let's see. There is one urban legend that repeatedly surfaced that an actor who played a Munchkin can be seen hanging himself during the scene, which has come to be known as the Tin Woodsman sequence, where Dorothy, the Scarecrow, and the Tin Man skip down the yellow brick road bound for Emerald City. So they're saying that the trio of animals and like birds began skipping the trio, the Dorothy and the Tin Man and the Scarecrow, they're skipping down the road, and the crane, some other animals in the background, said like a crane gets up into the picture behind the trees and then unfolds its wings defensively, casting a strange shadow in the background, and that's supposed to be what is swinging back and forth. You know, you can see it swing back and forth, so the supposed myth is complicated further by the multiple versions of the film that exist. When The Wizard of Oz was released in 1989 for its 50th anniversary, the confusing footage had been cleaned up. The bird appears in a different place to where it first appeared. And this is the version that is now considered the definitive cut, which you see on television. So it's, they look like, oh, well, it's a bird, but people don't believe it's a bird. Just to be safe, you know, we're going to do a remastered version, and that's not going to be in there. But it, let's see. Huh. There's something about the Munchkins here, yeah. Producer Leroy once stated the actors had orgies in the hotel, and we had to have police on every floor. Garland, as was in alleging that many of the Munchkins groped her, recalled them as drunks who got smashed every night, and the police had to scoop them in a butterfly nets. Oh my God.
What?
Makeup artist Jack Dawn once told the story of a German little person who got drunk, fell into a toilet, and had to be rescued. So it's not really that far-fetched to believe there was a Munchkin that committed suicide on the scene. It was like during the Depression or something when this movie was made. So, oh man. Let's see. The fact that the Munchkins weren't due to arrive on set until after the Tin Woodsman sequence had been filmed should be enough to put paid to the legend that one of them met their maker in the woods. The exploitation of an already belligerent minority should be remembered and analyzed without a sinister tall tale tainting her legacy. I don't know. There may be some other information on this, which, because if you look at the footage, it's pretty compelling. It does not look like some kind of a crow. So I'm not buying that. It's a pretty interesting movie, though. And then they say if you play Pink Floyd The Wall, turn the volume down and it like plays like a music video. And if you trip LSD, it's supposed to be something else entirely, which I don't intend to do, but that's what I've heard. So a lot of strange things in this movie. Strange things.
I think I found him. I found the dude, but all his videos are like an hour and a half. I'm not sure. Maybe Achilles has like a short video.
You look on the dollar bill, there's a pyramid. Now, underneath it, there's Novus Ordo Seclorum, New World Order.
New Order of the Ages.
You can look at the barcode of basically, and any item that's sold is general merchandise, and each line represents like a number. And so how the technology works is you scan the bars, and depending on how many bars, how wide they are, it registers in the computer as a number. So there's 2 dashes, and that is actually represented by the number 6. When you see 2 dashes, you should see a 6 underneath that, and you can test this, at your convenience store. I wouldn't use this method like on stuff that isn't normally bought. Go to like the flower section, for instance. But this is a little book, preschool book, okay? And there's 2 lines. This is not going to be seen very well, but there is 2 lines on the left, 2 on the right, 2 in the middle. You see this with most merchandise. And that means that 666 is on every barcode. The monster can has Hebrew symbols, 666. Unleash the beast. It's not a coincidence, if you ask me. It's a damn. What is a pyramid? Do we live in Egypt or something? Why is there a pyramid with the all-seeing eye of the on the top? If you look up the White House on Google Earth, you will see that the streets are designed in the shape of a pyramid, and White House is at the top of that pyramid, or not pyramid, but pentagram. So that's the way that the streets were designed. Freemasons, are known for their occultish behavior and the way that they set up their street designs. So this is not a good country. The people that are actually in control at the top, that have most of the money, do not have your best interest in mind. But the Lord's going to sort them out. So you focus on serving God and surviving. You're preaching the gospel, until you have to come to an end. You may have to go through tribulation. That's what the Bible says. But you have to be strong. You have to know your Bible when troubles come, and they are coming. I believe that America is the whore, Babylon, the whore, in the book of Revelation, because it says, a lot of people see, and they are correct, that Babylon, that the harlot, that she is the New World Order. She does represent that, but she's existed throughout history, okay? It's just she's going to exist in the future and have actual control over the entire earth, whereas it was just, that part of the world at that time, most of the people, most of the economics, are centered in one region until it expands. So like several world empires conquered one another in the Bible, like in the book of Daniel. This is accurate. It coincides with what we know about history. Babylon, Persia, Greece, and Rome succeeded one another. These were one world governments, okay, took control over all the nations that they conquered. So there's going to be a whore in the book of Revelation. She does represent the New World Order, but it says that the 10 kings will actually, burn the whore with fire, and then they will give power unto the beast. So whatever this whore is, whatever this great city is, has to be destroyed in order for the Antichrist to take position. And so you have a transition happening where the money and the wealth and the New World Order, the whore represents, she is then taken and placed somewhere else, called Jerusalem, the religious capital of the world. And this will be the center of the Antichrist's attention, where he makes war with all of the nations to cause them to come and worship this giant image. But I got on all. I went on that tangent just based on the Wizard of Oz, if you can believe that, because that movie is trippy. It's dark, you know.
Have you watched it recently?
Dorothy on meth. It's like you can watch it and see it. Shit.
Have you watched The Wizard of Oz recently? I haven't
No.
seen it in decades.
It's one of my favorite movies, though. Definitely.
I haven't seen it, bro.
You haven't even seen it?
No, I saw it as a kid. I just haven't seen it recently. I know they have a remake too. I think they had a remake not too long ago.
Yeah. It's glorious. It's a musical, but if you get past that, it's pretty interesting. You know, if you're looking for symbolisms in there, you know, Easter eggs, like subliminal messages.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you can find a lot. They like to put the truth in the movies, lies in the news.
I'm still trying to find out what Toto represents. Not sure about the dog.
I don't know, bro. I don't know. Let's see what I got. I got a quick clip of people saying the New World Order, the New World Order, the New World Order. Just popped in. I don't know if you've seen that before. This one's not that long. Let's see if I can find a longer one.
There's also the Bismillah. This is a phrase that's recited by every Muslim before they read the Quran, before they like pray, and you write that down, and it has three symbols, which mean in the name of Allah. So they say in the name of Allah, you know, before they read the Quran, etc. And this is represented by three symbols. So you have three symbols in Arabic, which means in the name of Allah. You go to the ancient Byzantine text. Okay, it's the Roman Empire, which has established basically a monopoly over the scriptures that were being used of the Christians. You know, they took that Canaan, you know, that collection of books, and then they kind of held on to it, and they had most of the manuscripts in their little fortress over there in Byzantine, which would be over in modern Turkey today, or otherwise known as Constantinople. Probably a different name now, I don't know, but this is where they had a lot of the ancient manuscripts. You go and you look at the oldest manuscripts of Revelation, the verse, which has 600, 3 and 6, which is 666. Well, those that is represented by those same three symbols, which mean in the name of Allah in Arabic today. So he who has wisdom, let him understand the number of the beast, for it is a number of a man. So what's the Bible trying to tell us about this man, about the Antichrist, just based on the number? And I believe that the Bible's clear. If you look, you want to look at the Byzantine text, though, you look at it in English, and that's how it reads. It's just interesting to look at the ancient Byzantine text where the majority of the manuscripts are. Even today, you can Google that. That's the dialect which the majority of the Greek New Testament manuscripts are written in. And that's an interesting verse to look at in those manuscripts. Very interesting. But we'll talk more about the Antichrist Wednesday. We're going to do Alexander the Great in the Bible. Cover Daniel 11 in as much detail as possible. Connect the Antichrist to the Grecian Empire.
There's like a extra biblical book, bro, that talks about Alexander the Great, or I shouldn't say talks about him, but mentions some briefly. I don't know if you were aware, but it uses it more like for a time period for reference.
What's interesting is it connects not only the the Muslim nations, but also the European nations that exist today. Because Alexander the Great was Greece, you know, Rome. So, or not Rome, but Europe. That's and then that was replaced or displaced by Rome, which had even more control of Europe. And then that transitioned, you know, after the division, after the fall of Constantinople, that Byzantine fortress they had over there, they moved everything over to the UK basically, and England had control of most of the world for a long time after that. Like the I don't know what they call it in history books.
The British Empire. We're kind of still there, I think. Let me play this video real quick. It's gonna basically just shows a lot of different politicians saying New World Order.
Yep.
I don't know if you've seen this before, but here it goes.
The affirmative task we have now is to actually create a new order, because the
Hold on, let me try it for one, see if the audio is better.
the affirmative task we have now is to actually create a new world order, because the global order is changing again, and the institutions and the role that worked so well in the post-World War II era for decades, they need to be strengthened, and some have to be changed.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
There's a need for a new world order, but it has different characteristics in different parts of the world.
Never before has a new world order had to be assembled from so many different perceptions or on so global a scale. Nor has any previous order had to combine the attributes of the historic balance of power system with global democratic opinion and the exploding technology of the contemporary period.
After 1989, President Bush said, and it's a phrase that I often use myself, that we needed a new world order.
I think its task will be to develop an overall strategy for America in this period when really a new world order can be created. It's a great opportunity. It isn't just a crisis.
What is at stake is more than one small country. It is a big idea, a new world order where diverse nations are drawn together in common cause to achieve the universal aspirations of mankind: peace and security, freedom, and the rule of law. Such is a world worthy of our struggle and worthy of our children's future.
So, in conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, a new world is emerging. It is a new world order with significantly different and radically new challenges.
And the hope that each of us has to build a new world order.
And I strongly believe India will be a central actor in the new world order.
Well, this week, PPP released the findings of a poll of how much Americans believe in conspiracy theories. That's where we got our lizard people numbers from. We also learned that the percentage of Americans who believe that a secret power elite with a globalist agenda is conspiring to eventually rule the world through an authoritarian world government or new world order, that percentage is 28%.
Yeah, the audio was a little low, but yeah, it's pretty creepy. When they say
Yeah.
peace and security, sudden destruction shall come.
Yeah, when you was
And
talking about Bill Gates having most of the farmland in America, just blew my mind, dude. This guy's like making billions of dollars on vaccines and owns all the farmland. Started out with computers, and now it's just like he gets to do whatever he wants. Just a monopoly on everything.
yeah, and when the U.S. pulled its funding when Trump was president, he pulled his funding from the World Health Organization. Guess who basically owned it? He's the number one founder. He was the number one contributor, I should say, besides the U.S. government. So yeah, he fits the role for the Antichrist, bro. Did I tell you about patent 2020-060606 yet?
No.
Let me show you that real quick, bro. It's pretty creepy too. I can't believe I never told you about that. Share my screen one more time, and I will just straight up Google it. So yeah, it's called patent 2020 060606. Let's see. So it's a cryptocurrency system using body activity data. Yeah, crypto system using body activity data. It's gonna be some type of microchip. It appears to me. It's gonna hook you up to the internet, basically. It's gonna have your cryptocurrency. It's like we got now on our phones. People can just buy stuff with their phones. But yeah, guess who owns patent 2020-060606? Crazy number. You still there?
Yeah.
So yeah, it was patented by Microsoft.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, just the numbers are so creepy. Claims. Let's see what they claim. Let's see, cryptocurrency system compromising one or more processors and memory storing executable instructions that, if executed by the one or more processors, configure the cryptocurrency system to communicate with a device of a user. Receive body activity data, which is generated based on body activity of the user, wherein the body activity is sensed by a sensor communicatively coupled to or compromised in the device of the user. Verify if the body activity data of the user satisfies one or more conditions set by the cryptocurrency system, and award cryptocurrency to the user whose body activity data is verified. I'm not going to read the whole thing. And to be honest, I don't quite understand how it's all going to work. But You can read through it if you want. I know I'm not getting it. Whatever it is. Oh man. Let's see if there's any images here. Oh man.
Bubblegum says, if this is the after show, when was the before show? This is what you watch after your main Netflix episodes. When
Let's
there's
see, on March
nothing, when there's
26th.
literally nothing on TV, you can always count on Christopher Silvius. I'll be there for you to talk about the New World Order. So, you're up late, you want some mind-blowing debates and head-spinning controversy.
Yeah, man, I want to do a geocentric, heliocentric debate with you, but maybe next month or something. On March 26, 2020, Microsoft filed a patent for body interface cryptocurrency. That's right, a human body implanted microchip connected to a cloud computer system harvesting biometric data. The crazy part, the patent number is 060606. Yeah, he's I don't know, bro. I'm leaning to the Bill Gates right now being the Antichrist, but we'll see. Things could change.
Yeah.
Dang.
I think it's Trump. Go watch part 1 of Discovering the Rise and Fall of the New World Order. It's on the playlist. We talk about Donald Trump and a whole bunch of other people, possibly as the Antichrist. Bill Gates is one of those, definitely. He's suspect. He's suspect. So,
he's in the lead, bro. He's in the lead. Oh, snap. Whatever.
Jamie says, what is wrong with wanting a new world order with justice and law for all people? Which we're not going to assume that he believes in a new world order, but for people who would be like wondering, kind of, because they're thinking, that these guys are being positive when they talk about, all they want to do is like create peace. They just want to make sure that there's no wars. But when you try to come together like that and you put up these boundaries and it's like, there's nothing wrong with having like affiliations, with having alliances, when you're a nation, but you don't want to become like a government, like a united government. You have to stay independent. And what the United Nations wants is to really take one law, one religion, basically, and give it to all people in order to better unify us. But what they really want to do is take complete control over us. They want us to be the rice farmers and them to live in their skyscraper luxury hotels. So I'd say that's what's wrong with the New World Order. It gives an advantage to the powerful.
Yeah, but they might make you worship on Sunday too.
Of course. Yeah. So there you go, Jamie.
And they might want to microchip you and your kids.
I gotta go let my dog outside. Just 1 second.
I'll play this video some minute. I'm not sure what the guy says, but go for it.
And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make image to the beast which had the wound by a sword and did live. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would worship the image of the beast should be killed. And he caused all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666.
Brave New World.
He wrote A Brave New World Revisited, which has an extremely interesting foreword, a new foreword that said, "If I were now to rewrite the book, I would offer the savage a third alternative. Between the utopian and the primitive horns of his dilemma would lie the possibility of sanity. In this community, economics would be decentralist and Henry Georgian. Politics, Kropotkin-esque and cooperative. Science and technology would be..."
Yeah, I don't know if you guys ever seen this movie. It's called Brave New World. It's another beast dystopian type of one world government movies from the 70s or 80s. And yeah, it's just interesting how they planned this out a long time ago. It's been their goal to get all of humanity to submit to this globalist. And this is one of my favorite channels. It's pretty cool. His name is what's the name of this channel? Truth is Stranger Than Fiction. Pretty good. Oh, your audio. Pretty cool channel. He has great content. If you guys want to check him out. It's been at it for a while. About, a lot of people are woke to this what you will call transhumanism, where they've been trying to merge man with machines, and we've been slowly conditioned to the point we all walk around with cell phones, and they're gonna make it look cool to implant these things in your body. It's gonna be so convenient. You won't be able to lose your wallet. You can start your car. You can open doors. You can log into your laptops. So yeah, a lot of people are already getting microchipped. All right, you're back.
Jamie says you laugh, but why would any law being enforced make you unsavable? I don't know what he's referring to. Maybe like the mark of the beast. I personally believe the mark of the beast, if you take it, you're a reprobate. You can't be saved. That doesn't mean that, like, the Bible says if you believe in Jesus, you can be saved. If you call upon the name of the Lord, whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord, they shall be saved. The problem is if you don't call upon the name of the Lord, you won't be saved. So if you're in a condition in your mind where you're never going to accept the truth, where you're always going to hate God, that's what the mark of the beast does to you. At that point, taking the mark of the beast becomes, there's a symptom of that, where you always hate God and you never want to get saved.
Yeah, I wonder about that, bro. Like, especially watching the Once Saved, Always Saved versus the OSAS or works, or, can you lose your salvation if you take the mark of the beast? Somebody's tricked into taking the mark of the beast.
Yeah, you have to worship the Antichrist, and that's how you get the mark. You got to worship the Antichrist, and then they give you the mark. So if you're willing to renounce God as your savior for, you just seal the deal. That's what the Bible doesn't say that there's any other time in history where this will be possible. It's this one occasion, the Antichrist, the false prophet, they're doing their signs, they're doing their wonders. So who are you going to believe, the Bible or the people, these politicians? It's going to be a hard choice for a lot of people. Unfortunate. If you get saved now, though, you'll never have to worry about taking the mark, because the saved person will never renounce God. It'll never happen. So they'll either have to chop your head off, or you'll be brought to trial. And the Bible says that when you are brought before kings and priests, and princes, or rather, for my name, not to meditate thereupon. Anything that you will say, for the Holy Ghost will speak for you on that occasion. So you're supposed to wait for God to give you the words, never to premeditate when you're on trial. And then the Bible says that you'll be saved, you'll be delivered, and you won't be beheaded. But if you try to speak for yourself, become arrogant, they're going to behead you because you're a Christian. You're still not going to take the mark, but you're going to have to die instead of doing what God said, which would enable you to survive. So that's why you got to read our Bible and become prepared for the tribulation. But first, you got to believe that you're going to go through the tribulation, or else it looks like you're totally screwed and without a tool to be able to survive. And that's why that's one of the reasons I don't like that dumb theory. I say dumb with all due respect.
There's a verse that talks about, like, maybe you could break this down and put on the line, but I take it as people can be tricked into taking the mark of the beast. It's Revelation 19:20. So I read, and the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast. Now, I don't know if this is saying he deceives people into taking the mark of the beast, but that's kind of the way I'm reading it. Which with he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast, and them that worship this image, these both were cast alive into a lake of fire burning with brimstone. Let me see. False prophet that wrought miracles before him. Maybe not. Maybe, I don't know.
Well, it says also about anybody who takes the mark of the beast, they will be cast into that same lake of fire. So it's a no-brainer. If you take the mark, you're going to hell, according to the Bible. Now, according to John MacArthur, the false prophet, that ain't true. But he's a liar and a wicked person who's going to split hell wide open. So don't ever listen to that fool, in my opinion.
So many people are deceived nowadays. I mean, myself included. I'm probably deceived in a lot of things, you know what I mean? But I feel like I woke up to some things anyways, like evolution being a lie, and you guys don't agree with me with the Earth being geocentric instead of heliocentric. But most of my life, I believed these things. And then I thought like plant cures were silly nonsense, but turns out most of our medicine is reverse engineered from plants using oil byproducts. So yeah, man, a lot of the stuff that we think are the way they are, they're not. Oh man, I gotta, because I remember I told you about Stanley Meyer who made the car run on water. So there was another guy recently, like a couple months ago, was on the news. He made his car run on water too, basically dividing the hydrogen from the oxygen and just running it on hydrogen. And then when they had a shooting, one of these mass shootings, he got killed. And then I saw a post recently, and the post looks like it's from like around the time when cars were first being built, the early 1900s. And even back then, somebody had figured out how to make their car run on water. It's pretty crazy. I don't know why. I just kind of wanted to share that with you. I saved the post. I can share it with the chat.
Well, I don't know exactly what Jamie means by that question. Maybe you could jump on, Jamie. You and Bubblegum, get on here. One of you can hang out in the chat room, but one of you should join. What do you think this was referring to? Oh, change times and laws. It's just referring to him taking control over everybody's calendar, over everybody's laws. You know, he's making the entire world conform to not only his time zone, but his laws and the way that everything should be ran. That's what I think it's referring to.
For the most part, like man, thou shalt not kill. You got people out there protesting for their right to murder their kids. So it's like it seems like almost every law at this point is you shouldn't lie, and it's like, oh, my goodness, it's like everybody's always lying, either whether they're intentionally or unintentionally. We're all so misinformed. So I feel like we're so close, bro. We're so close. The Pope did this. The calendar we used a Gregorian calendar. Yeah, definitely the Vatican played a role. A lot of, like Chris was saying earlier, the Vatican, the Roman Empire, with Julius Caesar, he added the month of July. Augustus added the month of August. So it's like the beast has just evolved, like you were saying, Chris. I think that's a good way to take it. Like you were saying, first it was Babylon, and then Egypt, then Greece, then Rome. I'm sure I'm skipping a couple there, but then we had like a British Empire. Now we kind of have like like a corporate empire, just kind of, with these corporations monopolizing everything left and right, the banks.
Bubblegum says, got to get ready for work, maybe next time. So I guess he's not joining. Peter, he may be actually at work, knowing him. Jamie, I don't know what's going on with you. One of you should join, though. And if not, that's fine. But I was going to say something. I forgot.
Transhumanism. Mandates of the heavens. Let's see anything cool here. You ever seen this movie? The it's kind of like 1984, but more techie. Like they have like a more advanced civilization. This was called The Brave New World. This movie. They have something similar to, like, these commandments where they sound romantic, or they sound like love nature and things like that. But it's it's definitely not the Ten Commandments of the Bible. So anything but the Ten Commandments of the Bible is probably misleading us from God. So, Chris, you ever watched this movie, A Brave New World?
No, I've never seen it. What is it about?
It's like a dystopian movie. Sometime somewhere in the future. Basically, they're already in a one world government, and they have like alphas. Everybody's like, you have your alphas, your betas, your. I think that's probably where it comes from. Like like a lot of people say beta. You hear praise. You hear people on modern day saying beta. So it's alpha, or maybe it predates that. But anyways, they have like, these are the alphas here. They're kind of like the leaders of society, and they get groomed a certain way. Then you have the betas, and they get groomed to a certain way to perform certain tasks. You have epsilons, is another class of people that are, it's like more like the working class, I guess. And you have the gammas. So there's like 5. I forget how many. It's been a long time since I watched this movie, but yeah. So they have. I'll give you a quick summary. They have already this basically this new world order. Everybody's hooked on like pharmaceuticals. Pretty much, they take these pharmaceuticals constantly. There's no marriages. Like it's basically people can just marriage is highly discouraged. Kids are grown in test tubes. What else? So then there's a guy in there, which I think this video gets to eventually. And there's like a little village basically that's not part of this, and these people go there, to visit once in a while, like a little tourist destination. They call them the savages. So, you know, instead of this place, this is more like where organic people have been growing. So they bring this one guy from over there to the city, and then he kind of reacts, like it seems cool at first.
What's that one thing shaking that girl's ass? What was that?
I think maybe this is like a history scene where they're just showing. Yeah, this is kind of like showing them how it was back in before 300 years ago. When I can let it play. I'm not sure if it's showing the movie clip or.
That looks like a whole thing. It's like 37 minutes.
Yeah, nah. But yeah, it's just interesting because there's a lot of movies that put like what they want, their goal. It's like a dystopian world like this where people just basically do what they're told. Everybody just conforms, and they keep you pumped with pharmaceuticals so you can be happy and docile and compliant. But yeah, if you ever watch the movie, anyways, there's a guy that comes. They go to this wildland, and he comes in, and at first, he's kind of interested. It's all he doesn't get it how they don't get married, they don't have kids, because he's still in the little village he comes from. It's all kind of it's kind of like off grid. Honestly, it's like they don't have electricity. They make their own food from plants. Here, everything's already prepackaged for you. You don't even know what you're eating, and this is their drug that they're hooked on. It's called soma. But yeah. Anyways, the guy comes to the city, and at first it's cool, but then he starts to go crazy because if you're a normal human being, this is not how you want to live. You want to fall in love. You want to get married. You want to have kids. You want to have free will. But here it's like everything's already pre-designated for you. All right, I'll get off the movie, bro. But yeah, another
mind
movie.
control.
Huh?
It's mind control. It's propaganda. Yeah, it's like everybody's a robot because they're going to be all like on virtual reality, having sex and making money, while the politicians are in the background making moves. It's like a game of chess. Eventually, that game ends and somebody is kinged, or is it queened? I don't remember. I don't ever play chess. They say Trump is an expert chess player, though, so you may want to think about that. 2024 niggas, or did I say that? I don't want to get banned, or beat up by some black guy. So if I offended you, I'm sorry. No black people on this channel as of yet.
Yeah, back to the end times. Let's see. What's Peter saying? Romans 6:14. For sin shall not have dominion over you, for ye are not under the law, but under grace. The new bill they want to sign has something about super soldiers. Oh, interesting, Peter. Oh, Jamie might be joining soon. He said, I am on the phone, be home soon. Maybe he'll join, bro.
Yep, I think he's going to join.
You ever watch that movie with Sylvester Stallone and Wesley Snipes? That one had a lot of stuff like this too, like this dystopian world where you get microchipped at birth.
Yeah, it's like multiple movies. The Matrix, that's one of my favorites too. I like that first movie. It gets complicated after that, but yeah, that first one has some basic subliminal messages in it. They're pretty trippy.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to The Matrix too. I watched that a lot of times actually. But I wasn't I don't know, I wasn't like awake yet, right? Because I probably thought that was a possibility where we lived in some simulation back then, but not anymore. I think simulation is, believing in the Big Bang, believing in the evolution, believing in all these when we're kids. So I think
Yeah. You ever seen the Men in Black?
yeah, I've seen the Men in Black, bro.
Yeah, and it's great. That's another movie that's got like subliminal messages. Everybody's an alien. The aliens are the people who work for the New World Order. They're making moves, and everybody's watching them. They just don't know. Yeah, freaking aliens, man. Some aliens could even be real. I'm pretty convinced that there are aliens, but that they're government manufactured, as well as other interesting creatures that I can't seem to totally dismiss, like the Mothman, for instance. I don't know what to do with things like that, so I just kind of say it's the government, because it's the only way out of that situation for me. Seems to be logical enough that they would create crazy creatures, and aliens in order to confuse people about their reality, because stuff like that certainly is unanswerable. It's can't be explained. There's not enough evidence to convince a skeptic, but then again, there's not enough evidence to bring the eyewitness testimonies to a place where they can say that they lied about what they said. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel you, man. I feel you. I also, I don't like, I could see that government or the dark government. I should say the shadow governments of the world. They're so far ahead on their technology, bro. Oh, I wanted to show you the car running on water from like a long time ago. Like long time ago, bro. It's crazy. Because I thought Stanley Meyer was the first one, bro, but it turns out this technology has been around for a long time. It's just been hidden from people. But it's basically the same process they used to make oxygen for the hospital. They just separate the oxygen.
You sound crazy right now, though. So you brought this up in another stream, and I'm just like, why don't people do it? It comes back to that every time. It's why don't people do it if that's what you can do?
Well, like I said, there was a guy 2 months ago, bro. He was on the news. It was a black guy, and he was on the news. I'll look that up next, bro, because they were talking about it, like even on the mainstream, and he was killed in one of these mass shootings we just had recently. So it just makes you wonder, like, so a lot of people think these mass shootings are all set up anyways, just to convince people to take our guns away. But yeah, Stanley Meyer guy, he's from like early 2000, and I thought he was the first one to figure it out, but this video is from 1974.
This car can cruise at speeds of up to
can actually make it
Rouen Cathedral, something almost literally out of Jules Verne. Passing Rouen Cathedral, something almost literally out of Jules Verne. This car can cruise at speeds of up to 70-odd miles an hour on water. The energy factor is hydrogen, which, as any schoolboy knows, is contained in water in the ratio of 2 parts to 1 of oxygen. A formula described by Jules Verne more than 100 years ago. So what have we been waiting for? The engine can also power a generator, to provide light and heat. And what's more, it's pollution-free. The car's already run for well over 1,000 miles, and the promoters say the scheme is practical and a commercial proposition. Fuel on tap, in fact. An ordinary day in an ordinary supermarket, passing Rouen Cathedral, something almost literally out of Jules Verne. This car can cruise at speeds of up to 70-odd miles an hour on water.
The fuck out of here. It's crazy, man.
Yeah. So Stanley Meyer is more famous because everybody tried to buy his technology, right? Like you had NASA trying to buy it, and but he wanted to. He was kind of like a Tesla kind of a character where he didn't want to sell it to the governments. He wanted to make it for that, normal people could use it for the benefit of mankind. He was like a Christian, bro. Like he said he gave praise to God, gave glory to God for how to do these things or whatever, how to enlighten him. But I'm trying to find this other guy. I'm talking about like a month ago, we had like one of these mass shootings, and let me see if I can find.
No, those I definitely do believe. I don't know if I can buy into this, but I know for a fact that there are, rather easily accessible technology if you have just a little bit of resources, which aren't totally unreasonable or beyond, the access of like normal people with normal paying jobs. Like you can get access to certain technology, which is a lot cheaper if you're just willing to put in the work, like some of these guys. It really takes some genius to be able to put a car together and make it work by water. That I don't know if that's true, but if it is true, it's definitely not something that you just learn overnight. I'll tell you that. So you'd be willing to put in a little bit of work, then I think that we could have a lot of things, like you were saying about the medicine, there's a lot of natural plants out there and herbs that can like cure diseases and stuff, but they're just not made readily available to people, or like the knowledge of them is not made available either.
Oh, here I found it. I have found it. And again, this is not Stanley Meyer. This is like recent. This is from like a month or two ago, bro. It's crazy. Hold on. Here we go.
Henry Salter Jr. wore many hats in his life. Retired teacher, but one of his true passions was science. He built a lab in his garage where he spent countless hours working to develop an engine that could run on water.
It's not running off of gas fuel?
No, there's no gas. No gas fuel.
Sadly, for all he was in life, the world is learning his story because of the courage he displayed doing his job.
Now, if you're conscious, this kind of makes my sense now. I didn't really have such an angry reaction when I heard this first happen, the whole Buffalo shooting, because I knew this was a staging. But my question is, why was a stage event and one day benefit from this? And seeing this article right here makes much more sense. I would say mind control. MK Ultra, this guy, they go do what he does on his Nazi beliefs. They go shoot up a market so they could get this guy out the way to potentially stop a $1 billion empire from making money. And that makes more sense. I understand, like, the government will use street thugs. You know what I'm saying? They might not mean nothing to them, but they.
Or Salter engaged the shooter, who was heavily protected by armor.
We have evidence that he struck him at least one time, and that unfortunately had no effect.
Not everyone would have made the same choice to run towards gunfire. And with his experience, 30 years on the Buffalo police force, he had to have guessed the shooter had an assault. Yet Salter tried, ultimately in vain, to save the lives of others.
Aaron was, a great individual, and I know he, in his heart, he wanted to save as many people as he could. And it didn't surprise me to hear that he engaged the guy right away that tried to stop him.
Salter retired from the Buffalo police force in 2018, and by all accounts, he didn't need this job at Tops, working security.
Surviving a job in law enforcement and making retirement is a big deal for you personally and for your family, because they expect, you can kind of ride it out now and enjoy your life.
But Salter chose to continue serving his community because he believed he could make it better. Now his former colleagues are trying to get him reinstated into that police force for a single day so his city can honor him with the formal they say he deserves. Mike Trolay, Global News.
Man, that man traveled to a different dimension to leave peacefully there, but continue on. Yeah, I don't see
that one doesn't go into too much details, bro, but I've seen videos where people just basically they just run electricity through water, and but all that stuff is so buried now, bro. It's so hard to find. Everything gets deleted. Anything that's actually anything that goes against this big oil or big pharma companies, they're gonna bury it in or delete it.
Yeah, there was a what was that? Can't remember. I was gonna say something. Now I think I forgot what I was gonna say. But Jamie was trying to join, and then I don't know what happened. But that'd be awesome if you joined. But it looked like that video you just played was talking about like something else that's unrelated to the water-powered car.
Well, the guy made it run on water, and then I hadn't followed the whole story because I thought it was, but he actually went to try to stop the shooter, I guess. So he was a security guard. I didn't know that part. I thought he just happened, but so it wasn't like the Stanley Meyer story where he literally, as he's choking to death, he's like, they poisoned me, is what he says to his brother. And how the Stanley story goes, that's from the early 2000s. This one is a little bit different, but yeah, man, I've seen some people use like those steel wool pads that you wash your pots with, and a jar. And I'm not saying it's enough to make your car run if you probably do something like that, but with this pure hydrogen gas, they can you could run your gas stove. You can use it as a flame, like as a torch to like melt stuff and do other cool things with it. They just run electricity through the water, and that separates the hydrogen from the oxygen. It's called electrodialysis.
What's interesting is like this theory I was hearing of Nikola Tesla, who thought that the Pyramid of Giza might have been like a conductor of electricity using the earth basically to create like voltage. And so he created something similar. Kind of looks like a satellite tower or something, but has like this big ball on the top of it. And he was trying to basically transmit electricity into the air, like by using the earth. So, there's some genius ideas out there, which they just don't put into place because they would begin to lose. They don't want competitors in medicine or technology or anything like that. They want to, like we was talking about the other day, deny the sale of apricot seeds and for certain individuals. You want to like sell them personally, and you're like promoting them as a cure for cancer. They'll take that away from you. It's like not a market that can exist. for some reason.
Right. It goes against the big pharma, big oil tech. Which are in cahoots together, bro. It's a pretty interesting story on that. How the Rockefeller monopolizes the oil and the medicine, the school and the medias back in the early 1900s.
Yeah, dude. And then evolution is coming to play, like, and taking control of the education system at the same time. It all works together. Evolution is a crucial part of the New World Order. One of the ways that they think it's what the doctors use. This is the method that they use to help people with their illnesses is that they give them a bunch of pills, and that's called chemical therapy. Let's just put a bunch of chemicals down your throat and hope for the best because that's what's supposed to treat it. But you have to have it uniquely mixed, with the right measure with other elements in order to make the process work. So, like, you need to eat the actual fruit, and that will give you what you need. Like, for example, you don't put hydrogen on a fire, and you don't put oxygen on a fire because that would be bad. So you wouldn't think that anybody would put hydrogen and oxygen on a fire, except every fireman in the world actually does this. Because if you mix them together, it actually is like profitable. So it does something different, has a different effect. If you eat natural herbs, natural plants, this will benefit you better than just taking a bunch of pills because it's something that was made by God. That's God's pill. You want to take the doctor's advice, that's fine for temporary purposes. If the light on your car is flashing, you need to change your oil, you could shut the light off or change the oil. I mean, it's just they're going to offer a temporary solution, which is to take out the light. But if you get on God's program, then you apply yourself to herbal therapy and rely, on a long-term supply of herbs and nutrients and plants. And this will actually help you live longer and give you a greater benefit than just going to the doctor.
Yeah, for sure. I'm with you, bro. And that's not to say that if you get hit by if you're in a car accident, then you should probably go to the hospital. But you should try to definitely, work on your diet and try these medicinal cures before you go get cut open and have organs removed and stuff like that. It's worth so many success stories now that you can't.
Yeah, that's why I'm against healthcare. Because if somebody wants to wreck their car, it's not like we have auto care where the government pays for your car when you break it. So why should we have healthcare? If somebody wants to break their body, that should be up to everybody individually, like their expense. And they want to use tax dollars to like feed the homeless and do stuff like that. That is absurd. They can do whatever they want with that money. They can just use a little bit of it to feed the homeless and then pocket the rest for all we know. So why in the world is the government in business? Like they shouldn't have anything to do with anything like that. Anything like their job is to make sure that people can earn their money, go home, and be left the hell alone. That's their job. And they want to pretend like there's like this police state where they actually monitor our lives, and that's not the way that it's supposed to be. We're supposed to have our own private property, and yeah. Anyways.
Good rant, bro. Let me see. Yeah, that's a good rant, bro. This government, they're supposed to be here for the people, but yeah, what you're saying is true. They give you they take all the money and they give back like maybe 10% or something like that with useful things, build roads or whatever. But then the rest of the stuff is like they're doing funding like climate change and all this nonsense, bro. It's NASA. I mean, the military industrial complex gets a little of most of it probably, and it's just working for the banks to accomplish their globalist one world government goals, and it's crazy. Correct.
I don't know. I keep wanting to say stuff, and then it just like kind of goes by me. But
Come on, give us another rank, Chris.
Yeah, I had one on the tip of my tongue. It's just gone away. You know that one guy from the Christmas Carol?
Yeah,
Scrooge.
Yeah.
He once said that if they're gonna die, let them and decrease the surplus population. You know, it's like for a kids movie. You know, this guy's all crazy, but there's people that think like that are actually in control, like Ted Turner of CNN and some other people that have been, on record saying that we should reduce the human population. There was one guy, I can't remember what position that he held, but he said that if he died, he wished to return as a killer virus to reduce the human population.
Yeah, it was actually
Really respected politician.
He was actually like the Prince of England, bro. Prince Charles, I want to say, and oddly enough, bro, he died in 2020, right when coronavirus broke out. Like, what's the odds? What is the odds? Let me make sure I get his name right. When I die, I wish to come back as a virus. Who says that?
Yeah, it was somebody like, I think it was maybe like Prince Henry or something like that. And
it was recent, bro. And I'm telling you, this guy just died right in 2020 when I died. Probably Google blocked it out. Prince Philip, bro.
yeah, I told you, some kind of Prince of England or something.
Yeah, Prince Philip, bro. He died.
Asshole, man. Makes his guards stand outside. They can't even like have a smoke or anything, man. They just got to stand there and look still. What is that? It's almost ominous, dude. Like when you watch some of these military examples, like, I don't know, dude. They're like walking in this weird robotic fashion, dude, and that's all going to be used to kill every one of us one day, I believe, because that's weird. It's bizarre. I don't like it. When the Pope came, I think that was in 2020, not 2020, maybe 2019, 18. When he came to the White House and he stood on the balcony and waved to everybody, what was I getting at there? Damn it. What was I getting at? I don't know.
Come on. Wait, who came out on the balcony? Trump?
The Pope. Yeah, like they invited him to the White House and then he just kind of stood on the balcony like he normally does when he goes to greet countries and waved to everybody.
Did he say something crazy?
No, I didn't say anything crazy. It was just an odd situation.
Yeah, Pope crazy. Where'd Jamie go, bro? I thought he was coming.
Yeah, I don't know. I wish I could remember what I was going to say, though, because it was a good one. Man,
I never seen Trump say New World Order, but I know he works for them or whatever. Bro, he actually wore a New World Order Seclorum jacket to one of his things. That dude's definitely in it. He's in it to win it. Richest man in the world.
comes down to communism, basically. That's how the Antichrist runs everything. He controls the businesses. So instead of what capitalism is actually a good method, okay? You have all the businesses, and they're able to spend their money how they want and run their businesses, actually how they want to run their businesses, and you don't have anything to do with it. So if they don't want to hire them, they don't want to hire white people. I'm sorry, it's natives only or whatever. Like, it doesn't matter, but the government wants to interfere with that. It's not right. Point is that they want to they want to run your business. Okay, tell you they want to tax the crap out of you. Okay, give you all these taxes, tell you how to run your business, and then actually, yeah, they can use the money like in times of crisis and stuff. Give executive orders and take your money of your business and do with it what they will. So you really do want more of a capitalist system where everybody has control over their own business. They can spend their money how they want, and they have to have representation when they're going to get taxed. It's the best way to do it. But if you can establish communism, that's what you do to take over the businesses. First, one of the first steps in that is actually to disarm the businesses. Yeah, disarm majority of the business in the world, so nobody feels like that they have ownership. Slowly take them over, gradually tax them, and get them on their knees, cripple them, tell them that they can't have guns. I mean, it's pretty simple. If you slowly and gradually do it, like it's a chess game. Yeah, people with a whole lot of money are slowly taking control. Taking away private property and businesses. It's a ridiculous idea, though. If you look at communism, when they take away their guns, Stalin, Hitler took away the people's guns, and then they had control of them. So it's a pattern in history. When that happens, they take away your guns. They're going to take control of you. If you walk up to a store, and the front of the store has a sign up and says, everybody in this building is unarmed, well, then that seems like the perfect place to rob. Okay, so if none of the teachers in the schools have any guns, well, then that looks like the perfect place for some crazy teenager to go and shoot somebody. And what's crazy about these shootings is the cops have literally been reported to stay on scene outside of the school while it's happening, not letting anybody in or out of the building. That is messed up. Okay, so I know it sounds crazy. There could be a conspiracy that the government is generating these reprobate teenagers and psychopaths to just go and shoot random people in order to create mass hysteria so that they can go behind the scenes and cover stuff up. Okay, because that's how propaganda works. You make this one thing popular, and then you tell the press not to report on anything else but what is viral, by what is trending. And that's how politicians get away with most of the crime that they do. But that's the way I see it. Water.
That, bro. Who's killed more people than anybody else in the world besides abortions? Will be the governments. Governments are the number one killers of people in this world.
They killed the Georgia Guidestones. Bastards.
Rest in peace, Georgia Guidestones.
That was actually that's probably not even good to idolize it like that, but it was an interesting monument,
Yeah, but I don't know I still don't know if it was blown up or if it was hit by lightning, because apparently, bro, there's an obelisk in Rome that got moved from Egypt, and that thing got struck by lightning the same day the Georgia Guidestones went down. Have you heard of that?
No, I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Yeah, let me see. Around that time, it was all about the Georgia Guidestones, but it's crazy. Like the same day, the Georgia Guidestones go down, this obelisk in Rome gets hit by lightning. Obelisk. May 2002, being restored. These people look weird.
Everybody should have control of their own affairs, though, man. That's not right, for the government to be like, oh, well, something's going wrong over here. The neighbors can't get along and they're fighting. Well, can't the neighbors handle it? Why do 4 cops have to show up? You're going to go and you run a cat up a tree and try to get it down again because you have nothing else to do. It's like these Claremore police that are down here, dude. Driving me nuts. Why do you have that big of a boat? Like, why are you like in this armor? You have the bulletproof vest and the radio and the earpiece. Red team go! Red team go! There's no crime going on at the Claremore Lake. Like, y'all need to chill, Let people handle their own. That's the way that it was supposed to be set up. Moses, when he appointed rulers, he told the people, you're going to handle the small stuff, and you bring the big stuff to the elders, and then they bring the really big stuff to me. I'm at the top of the chain, so this is how it works. You don't establish a police state where people don't handle their own affairs and the government handles it for them. That's just a waste of money and resources and a perfect opportunity for the government to take control of the people. Not good. I agree, that's not good. I don't like the police. That's why I don't want to become a policeman. I didn't. Never have. Why would you do that? I understand people, they need jobs and they just got nothing else to do. Maybe they were bullied in school and so they want to get back at the bullies. I don't know. But
I mean, ideally,
it's a profession.
I would say ideally, probably started off as a good thing, but then it just got so corrupt towards the end. Like,
who's David Hook?
Somebody tries to rob you. I never seen David Hook. Hello, David Hook. Click the link on the stream if you want to join.
Yeah, link it up there.
And thanks for stopping by. But yeah, man, I would say that it might be a good thing to have cops in the beginning, right, when they first started. Somebody gets robbed or again to serve the people, but it's become so corrupt where they're just writing tickets for anything, bro. They have the quotas and then the violence. Some of these people are trigger happy, like they just are itching to kill somebody. So yeah, and crazy times we're living, bro.
Peter says he was ready to kill his neighbor. What are you on, Peter? Chill, guy. Don't kill your neighbor. She has family. Or he. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a transgender family. Just leave them alone. You need to let God sort them out. Yeah, I'm kidding, Peter. I love you. Don't kill your neighbor, though.
Man, we're grading here.
Oh, you said the N-word, too. See, we can't be doing that. We're going to get deleted.
Yep. Hate speech.
I said it, too, Peter. It's all right. No more N-bombs. Okay? No more N-bombs. Enough of that. Oprah said that even the black people couldn't use it, though. And they was like, what? Talking about Oprah?
Oprah's another satanic witch, bro.
Oh, dude, she's just crazy. Here's some free lotion. That's basically what she's handing them, like, compared to how much money that she had. But, man, why do you have that much money? I don't understand the purpose of it.
Hey, I kind of want to take a little bathroom break for a little bit. So,
yep.
I don't know if you want to do a monologue or
yeah, I'll do a little interlude.
Okay, go for it. I do have a video a music video. You're gonna like it, bro. It's good. It's about transhumanism. But
I just
no,
played that.
but I mean, if you want to do your monologue, you got some, you know.
No, I don't. I just got like background music. The music video would be better.
All right. Hold on. Let me pull it up. I don't have it on my channel yet because I got deleted. Yeah, this song is dope. Dope. Dang, 92,000 views, bro.
Oh my gosh, David Hook says he's gonna be a cop.
Well, don't be I mean, like I said, man, I feel like there's a lot of good policemen out there, bro. We don't hear about them, unfortunately, but
No, I mean, I hear about the individual policemen who are just wanting to like fight crime. That's awesome, but the system itself, like, and I like that there are people like it should be handled better. So you shouldn't be using that much force on such a small occasion. You know, it's like what do they call that? A little domestic dispute, and 4 cops show up. There's obviously something wrong with that, but God-fearing cops, you know, one man can do the job perfectly fine, I think. So go David Hook, get out there and fight crime and be somebody.
One more thing about cops, like I remember when I was hearing about this New World Order stuff a long time ago, that they because you know how they try to defund the police in certain places. They don't want us to have a police thing, because if a global army comes into America, the police are really the most organized last line of defense. You know what I mean, against a global government. If you know, this New World Order global system, the United Nations or something like that, try to invade America. Well, we got the army obviously, but also the police is like our last line of defense. All right, bro. I share my screen, or if you want to do a monologue, you can.
It's not. This is also new. It's not new. I realize that nothing we've been doing is new. We haven't been tapping into new areas of the brain. We've just been awakening the most ancient. This technology is simply a route to powers that conjurers and alchemists used centuries ago.
We're seeing an exponential growth in our machines and innovations as technology surpasses and exceeds our limitations. Implications could be serious. Present futurists have been warning us for years about the consequences. Massive repercussions. We see the evidence. Dependence on our internet and phones and games and televisions. Losing independence as we immerse ourselves in working all our fingers to the bone operation. Then back our paychecks. For the latest and the greatest plastic upgrades, name-brand products and replacements. Hours of our own free uploading information used against us to target us with market advertising to interest. Collecting information used to monitor our senses, correcting anyone who won't comply or be connected. How long before a mandatory microchips injected? It's the age-old lie, the promise of utopia, the carrot on the stick, the empty cornucopia, technological hive mind dystopia. Or will it rise as a time of robophobia? It's the age-old lie, the promise of utopia, the carrot on the stick, the empty cornucopia, technological hive mind dystopia. Or will it rise as a time of robophobia? Emerging type insurgents, converging and emerging and churning slowly to the surface. It's concerning every person and confirming every warning. The disturbing thought we're working toward a single mindless merging and converting us to downloadable versions of ourselves inside a full immersion, universal simulated virtual reality where every living earthling's neural pathways are inspected mandatorily and connected using voice to sculpt. Absorbing data fingerprints to play us back like instruments, manipulating us just like we're puppets of ventriloquists. Remote controlling human beings like Ouija boards, coursing through the veins of circuit boards, record the sounds of every vocal cord. Moving exponentially towards a singularity. Eventually, we won't distinguish magic from technology, and robots will unplug from electricity, no longer using batteries, but power a golem using alchemy. It's the age-old lie, the promise of utopia, the carrot on the stick, the empty cornucopia, technological hive mind dystopia. What will arise is a time of robophobia. It's the age-old lie, the promise of utopia, the carrot on the stick, the empty cornucopia, technological hive mind dystopia. What will arise is a time of robophobia. So they manipulate genetically our DNA collectively, infecting every living organism and directing every intersecting thought and every memory and vision, inspecting our opinions and collecting our decisions. A digital technocracy emerging as philosophy, inserting thought police patrols and mind control technology, removing private property, enforcing thought bureaucracy, reducing every freedom and pursuit of life and liberty, consistently expanding all their terms and their conditions with minimum requirements and maximum restrictions, creating unknown problems to offer complicate the system till there's nothing but confusion, depicting anyone who won't conform as unacceptable, demanding everyone to all agree and not be skeptical, eventually connecting every mind from every nation, fulfilling prophecies from Genesis to Revelation. It's the age-old lie, the promise of utopia, the carrot on the stick, the empty cornucopia, technological hive mind dystopia. What will arise is a time of robophobia.
Even with all these new abilities that are highly dangerous, human race lost that much, and now I'm reclaiming it through virtual reality. You're moving too fast, too fast.
Thing with
Did y'all like it?
Yeah, that was trippy. I like those music videos.
Yeah, this one again is from Destiny Labber, one of my favorite rappers. But that kind of summed up a lot of what we were talking about in 4 minutes with some good images.
There's the Lord of the Rings movie. It came out in 2001.
Yeah, I saw all 3 of the Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, and I don't know if there's any other movies after that. But
what's interesting is that that second one, The Two Towers, that was 1 year after, and it was debuted in New York City. So so is that a coincidence, or because that the Two Towers used to be the 2 tallest buildings in the world, which they no longer are. That's significant. So World Trade Centers taken down by, like terrorists. It was really an inside project. What is it called? Eiger Building 7 is a smoking gun for that. So whether or not it was like actual Muslims doing this or not, the point is that that was the point in which America was shown to be vulnerable. And there's like an Easter egg in that movie, Lord of the Rings, Two Towers, just the title and it coming out the very next year seems to be the elite, in the background sort of showing us who are interested that they do have plans to take control. Yeah. So America, it eventually going to be displaced and something else will be established because we're the world power right now, but it's not going to always be that way. Sort of think of America as like the sinking Titanic.
And there's a lot of good videos on that. So many predictive programming, we call it, of all the so many different TVs and movies that even in the Matrix, there's a scene there. The Neo's driver's license, I think his birthday is September 11th. In Terminator 2, I want to say they're going under the bridge and it has 9/11. The Simpsons have something that they show about 9/11. So it was like it was all kind of planned, like the synagogue of Satan. They're behind a lot of movies and cartoons as well.
It's sort of like the Matrix, because when you get plugged into stuff like this, you begin to see, the truth. And that's what taking the red pill is in the Matrix. That's what it symbolizes. It's someone who's actually not buying into the propaganda and has figured out the way that things are actually operating. So the Matrix really blows my mind. That's one of those movies I like to watch and just pay attention to stuff, because the robots even have some sort of significance. Full robots that roam around, and then being born out of that slime or whatever, that they have to come, that machine has to come and extract you from it and then bring you over. It's trippy, but all symbolic. It's the Easter eggs in there. Easter egg is something that is hidden in a movie, and only people that are in on it can understand what it's there for. There's examples of that. Basic examples would be Disney movies. It has sex written in the clouds, or the Little Mermaid castle has a dildo on it. There's a few other examples maybe we should or should not get into. I don't know. Depends. There's SpongeBob. That's a modern example for any SpongeBob fans, where the sponge is in a bikini bottom. What do you think it's doing there? It's cleaning the Krusty Krab. Yeah, that's what it's doing. That's not a coincidence, in my opinion. None of that is. A lot, but yeah, Simpsons, they've done several videos been made just on TikTok alone, probably hundreds, where it's obviously predicting the future things that are happening. Very strange. So that's when you most people, when they look at stuff like that, they kind of say, well, I'm going to take the blue pill. I'm just going to go to sleep and forget about it. But crazy people like Iger and Christopher, they tend to hang around and then go down the rabbit hole. I don't know if it's too beneficial or not, but it's really interesting.
Man, yeah, The Simpsons is an interesting show. Then the guy, I forget his name, but yeah, he's a weird looking guy too. He kind of looks like the Mad Hatter from Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah,
I think he said he was part of the Illuminati at one point. I think there's a video clip of him saying he's part of the Illuminati. That's how he can predict the future or whatever.
It's another movie, Alice in Wonderland.
Deep down the rabbit hole, man.
Yeah, down the rabbit hole, dude. Yeah, exactly. I already gave my thoughts on free healthcare, Peter, but I'll reinforce those thoughts. Free healthcare is retarded. Should not do it, because you're paying for somebody else. This is like the LGBTQ crowd, okay, wants to bash their hand with a hammer, and then have us pay for it, for their own mutilation. That's not right, okay? If somebody wants to destroy their body, they can do that. If you want to break your leg, I know it happens, but you're going to have to pay for that, and nobody else should be involved in that. If any politician out there, is running for office and he wants to use your tax dollars for health care, you shouldn't vote for him. Simple as that. That's everybody's own individual responsibility. Taxes are just for specific things. Right now, I don't really know what exactly you should use a tax for. Probably to house people. I don't know. It's a basic welfare of economy. I don't know, economic growth. It's like a stimulator. I don't know what you could use it for. Definitely. Free healthcare, in Canada. I just don't know if I can agree to that you could just get free healthcare, because then you're paying for somebody else. They're just irresponsible. So if you want to not change the oil in your car, why should we have to pay for that? It's a good idea though. If you don't have to worry about it, then you could just get the government to pay it for you, and you vote someone in office that believes that and would promote that. But then your tax dollars are not being used efficiently, because it's where we can pocket a lot of that money. It needs to be controlled. Taxing really needs to have strong boundaries someplace. And healthcare, that's just not good. No. I don't know. What do you think, Iger? Think we should pay for healthcare?
Man, honestly, I haven't given it that much thought. Like, I just feel like, it sounds kind of cool, but at the same time, what you're saying, like, we're being coursed into this reverse engineer medicines from plants. It would just, I don't know, bro. I don't know. I haven't given it too much thought on how should healthcare be. Because I mean, there is a lot of people that obviously could benefit from free healthcare.
You ever seen Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory?
Yeah, I've seen it. Man, I was a big movie buff till about 5 years ago when I woke up to the flat Earth.
Yeah.
And then I kind of stopped watching movies because I didn't want to get programmed anymore.
Well, I've already given you a few to go back to because that movie is trippy. Especially when they're like going through the tunnel, things are getting weird.
I remember there's like. All right. Hey, man, I gotta go for like another 5 minutes, bro. So you're gonna have to do another monologue. You're muted though.
Oh, while you're gone, I'm just gonna continue to talk about Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
I'm listening to my phone, so I don't get lost in the sauce.
David Hook says flat Earth. Yes, Iger's a flat earther. I am not. That's what brothers got to do. They got to fight and argue, and sometimes there's never a resolution. That's the way that it has to be. Okay, but we're both going to heaven. That's what's important.
Yeah.
Flat Earth.
I also believe in the giant trees that I'm showing here now, and then I'm also like 9/11 inside job, New World Order, Illuminati stuff. So yeah, man, I got a channel too, bro, David. It's Tiger TV. Feel free to like and subscribe. And thanks for coming, man. It's nice to meet new people, bro. Hope to see you out again. And if you ever want to join, you can just click the link up in the. Is it pinned on the thing?
Yep, it's pinned to the top of the comment section, David. So if you want to go, just click that link. It'll bring you to the StreamYard. If you don't have a StreamYard, it's pretty easy to set up. A few easy, simple steps, and you can just sign on as a guest, no problem. So just think about it, and then we can even talk about the flat Earth if you want. Iger's our expert on that particular subject here. All I have was all I will be able to do is offer arguments that contradict the flat Earth because I don't know any that are good that support it. That's just me. That's just me. It's just the way I see it. Now, let's see. David Hook says, I'll show you verses that say the Earth is round. Yeah, that's kind of my point. There are verses, so.
I'll be right back, bro. 5 minutes or so.
But Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. There's like a theory that the Oompa Loompas are all like slaves. So that's why they're kind of like singing these songs. He's programmed them to sing these songs because the whole thing is set up, but they're really like slaves that have nowhere else to go. So it's not like I don't know. It's just a theory there. And then the golden ticket that they get, it's like Charlie is the one person that gets to go to, among other people, select group of individuals that are able to actually go into the chocolate factory and see, Willy Wonka and experience, how everything is made. Well, it's as simple as unwrapping a candy bar. If you want in on what's really going on in the world, first you need to open your eyes and receive the gospel. Then you need to start studying God's word. Then you need to go be a part of a soul-winning church. Okay, go knock some doors and try to get people saved. Okay, start growing in the Lord. And then you need to start not believing everything that everybody tells you. Start doing real research on, subjects, that the Lord feels that He needs to give you, not necessarily on stuff that we've been talking about here, but you just need to learn to think about stuff objectively, and understand first and foremost, if it disagrees with the Bible, then it's wrong, plain and simple. And if you search and you diligently investigate, you will find that all the evidence supports what the Bible says. So, you can have a Bible that can be trusted. You can have a God. You can serve a God that you can trust. So, yeah, when we get to heaven, it's going to be a total theocracy, okay? God is going to be in control, ruling with a rod of iron, but He's going to be a perfect and just God. So it will be great to live under that. And that's the point of it. So that He has complete control, then nothing will ever go wrong, okay? Everything will be perfect all the time as long as He is in control and nobody else. So there's one God, one supreme God, and thank God for that. Now we will enter another interlude. So
I'm back.
All right, welcome back.
Welcome. Did we lose David, bro?
I don't know. He says that he can show that the earth is round, though, by the Bible. I believe him.
Not me, bro. There's only one verse, and it talks about where the earth is a circle, right? But if you look at the AE map, and we kind of hold to like a circle. I kind of like the moon theory. I don't think I told you about it, but it's a little more complex. But basically, the moon, a reverse image of the map of the earth at creation. But yeah, earth.
You know, another thing I have a problem with is homelessness. Okay, I don't like these homeless people out there under the streets. You know, like, you need to work. You have to work. If you don't want to work, I think that the Bible's pretty clear that if a man will not work, then he should not eat. I mean, that's what the Apostle Paul said. It said that you should work. The Bible says in Old Testament you should work 6 days and, you know, rest on the Sabbath. I know some people get technical and say we should really literally on Saturday keep the Sabbath and rest, but I'm just taking the principle there that you need to work and then, yeah, of course, take a day off to rest. So working is essential to humanity, keeping it functioning. What's going on over there in San Francisco, though, is absolute insanity. They literally sell people syringes, okay, so that the homeless can do heroin and be disease-free about it. Like, they can have, like, I don't know. The government provides this for them. They see that they have these tents set up, like, in the middle of the street. There's actually an app on your phone that you can get where it detects the dung that is in the street, the human feces, you know. So there's an app you can use to navigate your way out of that situation, if you will. But that lifestyle is crazy. And then the government, you know, uses money like out of tax dollars to set up like soup kitchens and stuff where these people can actually go, and so they're just being enabled, and that is insane. That's why it's dangerous, you know, to live certain people. It's dangerous for them to live in major urban areas, you know, like tropical places, California, Florida, because of the fact that winter never comes, you know. They never have to commit any crime, so they can get locked up and then not have to work in jail, you know. They can always just hang out in the street, and it's probably the reason there's a lot of crazy drivers in California and those areas, because they never hit any black ice. I'm telling you, they need some of that in their life. You know, they need a wake-up call. Somebody needs to go to these streets and tell these people that they smell and that they need to get up and go get a job. So that's my opinion. You may disagree with it, but I think society would be a lot better. And also, prison systems are retarded. Why do you want to lock someone up like they're an animal? Why not make them actually physically pay for the crime that they committed? You know, if they took someone's life, they will pay with their life. If they took someone's purse, you know, make them pay 3 to 4 times more than what the purse is worth. You know, there needs to be swift justice executed. You know, someone needs to get beaten or fined or put to death if it's a capital offense. You know, that's what the Bible says, and that would work out a lot better. But the thing is that even judges are able to have stocks, you know, and invested in the real estate that's, you know, the prisons are located on. And so the more prisoners that there are and the bigger that it is and the better that it functions, well, then that means more money in these politicians' pockets. So it's actually more profitable for the elite to keep the prisons open than to actually, like, close them down and establish a better form of justice that's more biblical, you know, and, you know, on hand, if you will, slap people around or make them pay a fine. It's just more swift. So instead of having that, we want to house people. So people that want to like steal for a living, they get locked up, and then we give them what is it called? 3 meals and a cod or whatever they say every single day. And so you're paying like for a criminal who refuses to work or who refuses to live civil and wants to murder people or stuff like that. You want to pay to have that person just do nothing, basically just be behind bars. Why don't they get punished for the crimes that they commit? So this is not right. It's just all a part of the plan. We in America, if you didn't know, we have the most people incarcerated out of any country. You can look that. Isn't that right, Iger? Or am I wrong on that?
We have something like that. Plus, it's like they get money, right? Like for every prisoner or whatever, the person makes money. So there's been even like some judges that have been caught like basically being bribed to put people in jail, right? Because they get like a kickback from these private jails where they're even the judges are getting bribed to send more people to jail. So they'll lock people up for ridiculous amounts of time just because then us taxpayers again give these private jails more money to house people and yeah, man, it's all this whole
Yeah, because they're able to get the more prisoners that they have. That's how you can get an app on your phone. Okay, one of those simulation apps where you have like a prison, you have your own little prisoners, and you have your own little workers, and they're doing work in the kitchen. They're preparing the food, and at a certain time, all the prisoners come out in a line and they eat the food, and then they go back to their cells, and you have to have little maintenance guys walk around and clean stuff up. Like, get yourself one of those apps, and you'll see the basics of what's going on. You get a well-established prison that's functioning, that's order. There's order, with the inmates, and then you will actually get more grants from the government to, improve and pay for more workers. So more money in the pockets of these private bankers and judges and politicians. That's what it all comes down to, is getting these government grants. Federal government's like, oh, you got a prison? Oh, it works well. Well, here's some more money. Here's $1 billion. And that's the way that these guys think. Joe Biden free crack pipes. It's funny, Peter. That's what they're doing now.
I saw a cool video recently. Basically, I just Googled it up, see if I could find it, but it's a flat earth explained by a Freemason. I don't know if I could share that real quick just so you can see it too.
All right.
No, it's off topic a little bit, but just
we're doing it flat earth, I guess.
Yeah, just because David, man, I try not to talk about it because I know it's it's something that you really can't convince anybody unless they want to know, right? So it's not something like, man, I've told people for 5 years straight that the earth is flat and they still don't believe me. So I know you're not going to wake everybody up to it. But I don't have to play the audio. If you want to show our faces, we could talk over it because I don't think there's any audio to this. He just kind of...
At the beginning of the video, he shows a CD or a disc. He immediately draws the GM.
Anyways, I don't really want to watch the whole 8-minute video, but yeah, I just Googled up flat earth explained by Freemason, right? He draws that oblate spheroid. Let's see, anything interesting? Oh, sorry, lost it. There we go, it's just music. Because I don't know if I told you, but I think I showed you the video of the Mir space station and how they had like a vortex in the middle. And so there would be a black hole in this flat Earth model here, kind of like at the center of the Earth, where it kind of connects. It's kind of like the tree of life in a way that it connects heaven to Earth, and then it goes even below. Here he's drawing the black sun, Well, yeah, I'm gonna skim through it because it's 8 minutes, so I don't want to sit here and just watch them draw. But in his worldview here, like the light source is coming from maybe below. I don't know. But for me, it's kind of like it's coming from above, whatever this vortex is, this torus field. I just thought it was interesting, though. Let's keep skimming through real quick. Obviously, that circle in the middle is where the North Pole is. There's Polaris, the North Star at the top. There's like you got these old maps that show 4 continents in the middle with 4 rivers coming out of it. We got the equator here in the middle, and then we got Antarctica obviously at the edge. And then Freemasons lie all the time, so right, you never know what to believe anymore. I will say that I can't feel which way I'm moving 1,000 miles per hour right now, and definitely I don't. Pilots don't count for curvature. Nobody does. Nobody accounts for movement. So it's like it's just such a hard thing to let go. It's a very hard thing to let go. It took me a year after I first heard about it. I didn't believe it for a year, but
Yeah, but that's what I don't get, Iger, is that you say at first that it doesn't make any sense, and then you turn around and say that it took you a long time to deny that it happens. I mean, if it doesn't make any sense that we're spinning extremely or like an incredible rate, well then why did it take you so long?
It's easy because I was 35 when I heard about it, maybe a little bit older. So, I was already heavily indoctrinated by Star Wars, Star Trek. Stargate was my personal favorite team, that with MacGyver. Then, I used to like to watch The Universe. Back when I used to watch a lot of television, there was like an Ancient Aliens on the History Channel. So it's like you get so indoctrinated by, vacuum of space, the planets, the galaxies, but you're never told about the man, the dome. Is so many things to learn also about the flat Earth that it takes you a long time to just break down your programming. I could imagine people becoming young Earth creations after believing in the 4 billion-year-old Earth also takes a little bit of time too. For me, it didn't take that long because I was already kind of awoke to NASA lies about everything. And so it didn't take me that long after I heard about young Earth creationism to become a young Earther. But if I wouldn't have heard about if I didn't believe in the flat Earth, bro, I don't think I would accept the young Earth creationism because I wouldn't have the eyes to see how deep the lies go. Like it's not just a couple guys, you know what I mean? It's like you got institutions basically that are spreading this lie, programming people, and just indoctrinating the generation and the next generation. So it's such a big lie. It's a complex thing to see. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how long did it take.
I think it's good to open your mind and question everything, just not to the excess of the flat Earth model. I think that would be taking it too far.
Yeah, and but yeah, to each their own, bro. To each their own. But for me, it woke me up to just kind of how the lies work and how deep they go. And because people will say, how come Russia doesn't call it out? We hate Russia, but in cahoots, these people are working behind the scenes together to enslave their population. So they use wars as a way to population control, and they also further their agendas. Where if the central bank doesn't control that world, that place yet, then that's why they did 9/11, because they needed to go to the Middle East to establish the central bank. That way, when the one world currency comes into play, they already have that groundwork laid out where you can go to pretty much everywhere on Earth now and use your Visa, MasterCard, American Express. Everything's connected through the central bank. We didn't have that before 2000. the whole Middle East wasn't part of the central bank. So it's a pretty interesting article. How everywhere that America and Russia go to war, that's where the central bank's not in control. So they have to create these wars that way they can destabilize the countries to establish the central bank. All right, but I think he's
Yeah,
done
it's
drawing
common
here.
tact.
That was the end of the drawing, but yeah, basically,
You just kind of
this is just
go to the full, but you take 2 steps forward and 1 back. You know, if somebody puts up a boundary, you already have your base established there, so you just leave that and then back off, and then yeah. So they're slowly and gradually establishing U.S. and UN military bases everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. And then Russia plays a part too, bro, because they need the whole Russia U.S. I mean, they've been doing it for so long, bro. I can't believe it's like it's always the same story, you know. It's always there's a big bad dictator in town, and he's killing his own people, and then Russia goes to help them, and then America goes in to help the opposing side, and they've done it everywhere. I'm talking about in the 70s. That was a story for Vietnam, Korea. It's always the same story. They always are in America. They always fight each other, but in the end, the central banks always win because they come out establishing the banks there. So if you can print the money, you can buy whatever resource you want, whether it be water or food or the land. So whoever can print the money is just printing paper. They can print the money they want to buy whatever they want. But yeah, this is if you just look up Flat Earth explained by Freemason, you should be able to find this video. But it's a pretty concept. Like it's got a vortex in the middle, and the moon are kind of round up there. Not that big. This is obviously not to scale. The sun and the moon are tiny, little, tiny city or something, maybe like 30 miles wide. Most flat earth say it's 30 miles wide. So it's not, you know, it's not that big, and it's not a spot, and it's not as far away, and everything's opposite of what we're told. So take the red pill. Take the red pill. Wake up. Dang it! I lost Chris. All right, I got Chris. Welcome back. Microphone check. Say something, bro.
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, welcome back. And again, the Earth is not flat, bro. It's got a dome. It's got an underworld. So it's more just like geocentric. It's the center of the universe. It's not a little speck of dust. And you're not just a speck of dust. You're created in God's image, made by God. So that was the bottom line for me. All right, we can move on from the flat Earth back to end time stuff, which
Nope, we're sticking on the flat Earth. I got some questions for you.
Go for it, my friend. Go for it. I honestly don't think the dome is even this high as it's presented here. I think it's like a wristwatch. I think the dome is only 100 kilometers up. Personally, they call it the Kármán line in science, where basically that's where the black starts. I'll pull up the Kármán line real quick so you see what I'm talking about. Kármán line. It's like Carmen, but with K. Kármán line The Kármán line lies within the lower atmosphere. The Kármán line, an attempt to define the boundary between Earths. It's about 62 miles, 100 kilometers is the Kármán line. All right, what's your questions, bro? I'll try to answer them real quick. It's getting kind of late. You're muted, bro.
I'm about to share my screen. You can answer as many as you want.
Yeah, we'll go one at a time.
Why is the shape of the Earth during a lunar eclipse indicate very clearly that it's a sphere? You know, the Earth is a sphere. That's why it's producing that kind of a shadow instead of a disc shadow. It's like flat edges. When you hold up a ball to a light and it produces a shadow on whatever surface you're holding it over, it's going to be it's going to have a curvature if it's a sphere. If you hold up a plate or a disc next to it, it will not produce the same effect. It'll be a flat line. So what is your answer to this?
Okay. Well, obviously in the flat Earth, and this was one of the things that held me back for a year, bro. Like I didn't want to accept it. There was two things: was the North Star South Star rotation of the Earth, and then there was the lunar eclipses. I couldn't explain it. But I had so many. I only had two things holding me back for the flat Earth. I had 1,000 things at this point: gravity, black holes, dark matter, dark energy, dark gravity. How come I don't feel nothing? Where's the curvature of the Earth? Why? How come nobody takes into account? So there's so many more questions than the two questions I had that were holding me back. So after a year, even without, I flat trick Earth more sense. But okay, that was just a quick intro. But okay, for the lunar eclipses, in the flat Earth model, it's not the Earth that's causing the lunar eclipses. There's other objects up there. In the Hindu cosmology, they're called Ketu and Rahu that cause the lunar eclipses. So there's other things out there that we can't see. The Jesuits, or pagan people, they called it the black sun, the dark sun. So there's other objects up there we can't see that cause the lunar eclipses. Because another interesting fact about lunar eclipses, if you can just pull up Selene line eclipses, you're gonna have fun explaining this one to me. Let me just share my screen.
Yeah.
This one kind of got me too. Like that was right when I was in the verge of changing my mind. I was on the fence for like 6 months. Or I'm like, how does this work? How does that work? So Selene, like Celine Dion kind of, Selene Lion lunar eclipse. So this is interesting, bro. A Selene line eclipse is when you can see the sun and the moon, and above the horizon, and the moon is doing an eclipse. Do you understand what I'm saying there? Let's say you're watching a lunar eclipse.
All right. What's the secular explanation for this phenomenon? Do you know that?
Yeah.
That's what I'm probably going to go with.
Okay, a Selene line eclipse occurs. I'll tell you what they say in my words, what I researched, and then I'll go ahead and just read it. But when I did my research on this, they just said refraction, the light's bending, so the moon's not really there, or the sun's not really there. So now they're telling you the sun and the moon are not really there because if you're on the Earth and you're seeing a lunar eclipse and you can still see the sun, then that shouldn't happen because the Earth is supposedly in between the sun and the moon, causing the eclipse, according to the heliocentric model.
Yeah.
We'll see what they say, bro. That's just what they said back in those days. The sun's not there, or the moon's not there. It's just refraction and whatever, right? But I mean, at that point, bro, you're just saying the sun's not there and the moon's not there. I was like, this is getting stupid. This is getting ridiculous.
No, why do you say it's ridiculous if refraction is a real scientific phenomenon? It actually happens.
Yeah, but to the point that you can actually see the sun while you're witnessing a lunar eclipse.
Possibly, I don't know.
Right there. How's the Earth getting in between the Earth and the sun when you can clearly see the moon right there, and you can see the sun on the other side? The Earth is not in between it. Obviously, if they're both above, if you could see them both above your head, they're not. It's not. All right. Anyways, you got to do so much gentle gymnastics to make the heliocentric model work. At the end of the day, I took.
Yeah, but you haven't seen their argument though. What is it?
I'm trying to look for it. Cylinder line, of course, during a lunar eclipse when the sun and the moon are above the horizon. Atmospheric refraction bends light rays and lifts the image of the sun and the moon, typically up to 6.6 degrees. So both can appear above the horizon.
All right. Well, is that measurement accurate?
At this point, they're telling you that the sun's not really where you're seeing it, and the moon is not really where you're seeing it, and that's why you're seeing it.
Yep, there's good evidence to support that theory there.
There's not.
Yeah. You've only scratched the surface, my friend.
There's not, bro. But anyways, that was my answer. That was my response to you on the lunar eclipses and why I don't buy the lunar eclipse is caused by the Earth. Even it's caused by other bodies that are up there that we can't see.
Well,
I'll show you that real quick before we move on. I'll touch up on that real quick on Rahu and Ketu. Rahu and Ketu, which is what the Hindu people call them. So Rahu is the north and Ketu is the south node of the moon. They are always directly opposite to each other. That is 180 degrees apart. They form the karmic axis in a Vedic astrology chart that indicate, this is the first thing that came up, but Rahu and Ketu are not actually planets of physical substance like the other 7 planets. Rather, they are areas of churned up energy. I don't know, it's getting a little even. There are points where the moon and the Earth orbits intersect. This creates magnetic disturbances. All right, that one. Never mind. Let me just show you. Bottom line, bro. There's up there that we can't see without getting into such paganism or whatever.
Yeah, possibly.
All right. What was your next question, though? Going back to your slides.
Do you not think that it's my understanding that the flat Earth model denies the existence of other planets like Neptune or Jupiter, Saturn, etc.?
Actually, bro, that's a lie. You can go outside right now and look at Jupiter. You can see Jupiter. You can see Saturn. You can see Mars. If you go outside right now, you can see them with your naked eyes too. I want to point that out. You don't even need a telescope. You could go right outside and just look at them.
All right. Well, something about those planets is that they're all spherical.
Well, and I've shown you videos before of what I've seen the planets to be. But I'll show you again. I mean, I don't think they're. I'm not saying they're not there. I'm saying they're not what we're told. They're not solid objects that they land on or even get to. They're just little balls of light. I'll show you. I've seen this video many times, bro. The one I'm gonna present right now.
Well,
But yeah, if
they
you go
landed
outside right
on.
now, Chris, do you have room on your phone to download an app? It's not a flat Earth app. It's just like a astronomy app, so you can learn the constellations. But you can go outside right now, bro, and you can see Mars, Jupiter, Venus. If you wait till about sunrise, you could probably see Mercury and Venus. But right now you can see Jupiter, Saturn, and Mars. It's pretty
All right.
cool.
Well, now you're just denying a huge branch of astronomy that would just be a complete waste of time. Like sending rovers to Mars and sending satellites to orbit other planets and take photographs. That's all has to be manufactured and photoshopped in order for your model to work.
Yeah, and that's claim honestly that NASA, RASA, JAXA, they're just manufacturing propaganda. That way, we could give them another $26 billion next year. Because if not, then we're not gonna give them
All
money.
right. Well, what do you think about Dr. Jason Lyle, who is a PhD creationist that understands that there are planets that are spherical? I mean, is he just blindly following what they say, or has he actually seen this for himself?
Well, yeah, he's gonna see something like this. He's not gonna see the NASA, RASA, JAXA images, but he doesn't question them. He thinks they're legit. It's what we all do. We all put NASA on like this pedestal where they just got the James Webb telescope before we had the Hubble telescope, and we think these are all act pictures that they're releasing, and they're just a bunch of paintings and cartoons. But most of us buy it hook, line, and sinker. It becomes like a traditional lie where my parents said that the Earth was 4 billion years old. Their parents said that the Earth was 4 billion years old, and it's because we've been told in school programming that the Earth is millions of years old, but it's not true. Same thing with the planets. Like they tell us this one is so big and so far away, even though they appear to be about the same size, and that one is so big and so far away, even though they appear to be the same size. So it's the same concept, and they're just taking NASA, RAXA, JAXA as the complete authority, and it never crossed my mind that they would be lying to me for $26 billion a year, $60 million a day. But
well, there you go again. You got to deny the existence of other planets. Say
I'm
that
not
they're not
denying the
actual
existence of planets. They're
Dude,
there.
planet means spherical object. The Earth is not a planet if the Earth is flat. It's not anywhere close because it doesn't meet the criteria for what a planet is.
Yeah, I'm denying the existence of other. Yeah, you're right. In a sense, I'm denying of other planets, but they're there. They're just not planets. What they are is they're wandering stars because they are the stars that disobey God's commandment and God's plan or whatever. These are the fallen angels of Greek mythology and Norse mythology. Mars is uh, the god of war. Jupiter.
Well, now you're figuring to get spooky on me, Iger. Bringing in Greek
Follow me for 1
mythology
second.
and all
Listen
this
to
stuff.
this. So Jupiter is Zeus. You can look it up. Jupiter is Zeus. This is what the pagans worship at Zeus, Jupiter. Saturn is Cronus, and you could just look that up, bro. That's how they worship. Because at one time, uh, you know, just follow me for 1 second. No, you don't believe in Genesis 6. It's angels, but Genesis 6 talks about the sons of God. God made it with the woman of mankind. They fell down here. They fell down, created giants, lived for a little bit after the flood. Some of them were trapped up there. Some of them were trapped down here, which is something else that came across my feed recently, where the river Euphrates is drying up, and then there's angels that are chained under there. But anyway, so what the pagans do is they worship these wandering stars that you call planets, like Jupiter, Saturn, Mars, Venus, Mercury. These are all pagan gods. The good stars are part of constellation. They never left God's course. They're appointed circuits. But these fallen angels, these wandering stars, they disobey God's command at one point, and then they are trapped there now in these patterns that are not part of a constellation. They each follow their own path. If that made any sense. All right, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I agree that they're all named like after these pagan gods, but they have nothing to do with the pagan gods themselves.
Well, they do according to Hinduism. That's why they worship them.
No, they just gave him that name later, after Zeus had already like lived and died, and they came up with a story about how he had like deity powers. You know, then they named a planet after him later on. He's not the actual planet.
Well, I want you to understand something. That stars, as we know them, they're part of a constellation. The planets, which we call wandering stars, are not part of a constellation, and that's why they are called wandering stars. That's the only difference. They still look the same, pretty much, except for Jupiter. Maybe looks like Jupiter kind of looks like maybe, possibly. Let me see if this is some better solution. No, actually, Jupiter just looks like a light too, bro. There's the way. Even according to mainstream science, Jupiter is just a big gas giant, right? So it's not even a solid place; it's just a gas giant. How gas sticks together.
Well, the thing is, man, is
beyond anybody's explanation. But yeah, gravity in a vacuum apparently just brings gas together. But yeah, this is Jupiter right here. You can actually see a little bit better with the telescope, but not to the point NASA shows you. It's straight up CGI, just a cartoon. Go ahead.
But look, man, you're denying the eyewitness testimony of all of these astronauts, of all of these countries that say that they've put up private satellites into orbit to take pictures of the Earth, all of the intellectual integrity of every astronomer is being scrutinized to the level where basic observations are rejected. Why?
Well, I'm not denying the basic observations that we can do ourselves.
Yes, you are.
Saying, no, but I am
Because,
denying
listen,
I am
if
denying the
you
astronauts.
weren't-
They're all Freemasons and Jesuits. They're all in on it.
What about astronomers?
They're not all. The astronomers are actually seeing some stuff, but this is what they're seeing from here, from Earth. But then they take NASA's information as factual when it's all fabricated.
Oh, really? So you don't think they would have investigated it for themselves? Because they're gonna live their whole lives doing this, and there's a lot of astronomers out there. None of them thought to question the whole thing.
I mean, some of them did, and so like if you look through history, a lot of them were geocentric. You check out Tycho Brahe, bro.
I'm not talking about people in ancient history that didn't understand. I'm talking about modern astronomers.
Modern astronomers. I only know one guy that works for NASA that he used to work putting up satellites, and then he came out as he said they were making it all up. There's been two astronauts, one Polish astronaut that worked for the cosmonaut program.
Well, I'm not talking about astronauts either. I mean,
this is
astronomers.
recent. And then astronomers.
I'm not talking about an astronaut.
The problem with that, bro, it's just like people are afraid to lose their job, bro. If they go against this heliocentric model, they call it the Copernican principle. If you go against it as an astronomer that works for a big museum or a big observatory or whatever,
No, you're not understanding my point. You're not understanding what I'm trying to say. Because you're gonna get to a point where you get the associate's degree, you get the what's the next one? I don't know. Then you get a bachelor after that, a master's, and then you go in through the entire PhD program, and not one time before you actually get a job in the field are you going to question it?
Some people are brainwashed like that, bro. Just like we got these geologists.
You're saying all of them are, not some of them. You're saying
all of them are, bro.
every single one of them.
I think a lot of them question it, but they can't talk about it because it's their job.
You're saying they're secret flat earthers now. A lot of the astronomers.
Not a lot. I'm saying few. Most people are not going to question it. They're just going to, after you spend $50,000 in something, you go to school learning something like how big is Vega, how big is Jupiter, how big is Saturn. Well, you're not going to go against that. You spend $50,000 going through school, and now you're making $50,000, $100,000, whatever money they make. They're not going to go. They're not going to risk that. They're not going to risk all that. And same thing that happens with these biologists that support the old Earth. They're not. They're too invested. They're too invested to go the other way.
You don't have to get that invested, though. Is the point? You have to, once you start investigating, then you have to decide if you want to go any further based on what the evidence is. I mean, if all of you're looking at is photographs and stuff that you can't trust, then why would you live your whole life, going to school?
I'm sure some of them quit, bro. But they probably, I don't know any, but I'm sure some of them have quit. I've seen teachers quit, that came to this conclusion. They're like, I'm not teaching this anymore. It goes against my beliefs. Same thing for young creationists. People, I'm sure a lot of teachers just, they're done. They're not going to teach evolution anymore. So I've seen people quit over this, teacher-wise. And I can't tell you any astronomers. I haven't seen any videos of astronomers coming out. But I would say, man, that they're too invested. They went to school for 4 years or 8 years. They're, PhDs or whatever. They invested all their lives into it. It's going to be hard to wake somebody like that up.
Yeah, but what you're saying is they spent their whole life in school. Okay, at least it takes a long time to get like a degree and stuff like that, a high degree, master's or PhD. So you're going to question it along the way. You're not going to get more than 2 or 3 years in without questioning and trying to find information. At least some people. It's just like there are no examples, though. So it's not.
I mean, I've seen engineers and people like that come up as flat earthers. I've seen pilots. I've seen engineers. I've seen me. I went to school for business management. Let's see. All types of people came out. Teachers. So yeah, there's been some very smart people that came out.
They're not smart. Not in that area. Maybe most other areas.
No, they're pilots, bro. Like there's pilots, there's mechanical engineers, there's architects, there's all types of people that it's just once you go flat, you can't go back, bro. It's kind of like when you find out Santa Claus ain't real, like, or now that I found out the Earth ain't 4 billion years old, like, what am I gonna do, bro? I can't go back. Like, they're gonna have to like put me in some indoctrination camp for me to change my mind.
No, I understand that perfectly well. I don't think that you understand that about me, though, because I say stuff like that and you don't believe me. You
That's what I'm saying. Like, nobody's gonna convince you evolution's still. Like, there's no way you can never go back to that, bro. It's like waking up to Santa Claus being fake. Like, you're never gonna go back, bro.
Well, I'll never be in that flat Earth until Jesus comes, and then if he shows me it's flat, I'll have to agree with him.
Yeah, and the whole thing with the flat Earth, it's not the Earth, it's not flat, right? It's because it's got a dome, it's got stuff, so it could be pear shaped, but we're inside of it. We're not on top of it, spinning 1,000 miles per hour.
See, everything that you say about the flat Earth gets more bizarre. It's like your whole model's called the flat Earth, and now you're saying, well, it's not even flat. How strange can you get, man, with all of these different things?
Can I show you real quick? Share my screen one more time.
Bizarre.
Let me show you one more time, and check this out. Taurus
I don't know
field.
what your point is in this, though.
No, I'm gonna show another image. I'm just looking at it right now.
Like here's the flat Earth that's not actually flat, and so what we believe doesn't even make any sense because
Yeah,
we don't
right.
believe it's flat Earth. So why are you calling it that?
Not right. It should be called something else, bro. But
yeah, it should. You should get an entirely different model. Just disregard this trash theory that you have. It's garbage. Why are you still hanging on to it?
Here, let me show you what it will be for me ultimately. So this is Taurus field, Torus, around the Earth, right? So it's even according to mainstream science, there's a magnetic field around the Earth. Except for them it's around Earth, but for me it's like for me it's living in the middle in a flat plane, and this will kind of represent the dome, the waters above, and then God's throne will be on top. But this is something Taurus field around the Earth is something science related. It's not. Oh, this one says universe. Let's see what this one is. Because how Neil deGrasse Tyson said it's pear shaped. Like that's so random, right? Like why would he say that? That's it's just so random. But then I started thinking about it. I was like, maybe he's onto something. It's like it's like something, and but you would include everything in there. All right, that was it. I just wanted to show you the torus field around the Earth. Even according to mainstream science, there's a magnetic field around the Earth that makes this torus shape. Also, when you look at the Bible, if you see that again, if it's like this magnetic field right around the Earth, and you talk about the bottomless pit, that would kind of make a lot more sense. The bottomless pit being at the center of whatever these vortex that's in the middle is. Yeah, that's it, bro. I yield. It's getting late, bro. We probably should go to bed before we get cranky.
All right, then. One more question.
Let's do it, bro. Let's do two. Let's do two more questions. Any questions from the audience, David? If you're still around, let me know. Peter, always good to see you. Go for it. Two more questions, bro. We got eclipses, right? You got that, right? You heard my explanation.
Pendulum.
The things up there that we
How do you
can't
explain
see.
it?
Oh, it's fake. Super fake. Try to make your own pendulum. Go ahead and hang a string above your ceiling, and let me know what happens. And anyways, most of these pendulums, they have to be started, so you have to give them a push in whatever direction you want. And if you have two pendulums, one could be spinning one way, one could be spinning the other way. They also have motors to keep them moving. So completely fake, bro. No such thing. Try it out for yourself. Huh? Motors, yeah. Correct. To keep it moving.
The whole idea of a pendulum is that it doesn't require a motor, but it simply operates on gravity in order to move itself. It's not a lie. There's no electricity involved.
Lies. I don't have anything saved on this, but definitely next time I see it, I'll show you. The guy that installed the pendulum, he's like, yeah, there's a motor in there, and you have to to get it going. Try it for yourself. No lie, Chris. Just hang a freaking a thread or a little rope somewhere from your ceiling. Put it as low as you can. Tell me if it does anything. It's not gonna do nothing, bro. Unless it's reacting to the wind or anything like that.
This is what I'm talking about. You're denying direct, observable, basic physics, man.
Do it. Do it for yourself.
The example that you're giving, though, Iger, the example you're giving, my friend, is absurd. Hang a thing on the edge of a string and see if it swings like a pendulum. It wouldn't be a pendulum if it was just like some random ball hanging on a thread. That's not what a pendulum is.
Try it for yourself, Chris. I tried it for myself, and there's no motion, bro.
All right, you got me there. I'm gonna have to get myself my own Foucault pendulum in order to convince you there. So we'll move on to the next question.
Yeah,
Seeing as
try
how
for
I
yourself.
do not have
And,
one.
and I will look for the video where the guy installs the pendulum that supposedly records the Earth, and he's like, yeah, there's a motor, that keeps it moving. So it's not the rotation of the Earth that keeps that moving. Go for it.
Imagine an ant walking along the surface of an orange into your field of view. If you look at the orange head on, you will see the ant's body slowly rising up from the horizon because of the curvature of the orange. If you do that experiment with the ant approaching along a long road rather than a round object, the effect would change. The ant would slowly materialize into view depending on how sharp your vision is. So here we see if the sun is not just getting farther away and slowly getting like just distorted in its vision, and it's getting smaller and smaller and eventually goes out of our view, or if it's coming toward us and it doesn't slowly start appearing into our view, then the earth isn't flat. If it's going over her horizon, going down and slowly out of view, then the earth has a curvature. It's obvious. So what is your answer to this?
You already know this one, bro. That's why you're.
No, I don't, because I asked this to Peter in the debate. All these that I have, I asked Peter in the debate, and I don't know.
This
I'm
kind
not.
of like the boat, kind of like the boat disappearing over the horizon argument. No, you
The
watch a
what?
boat. The boat.
Well,
If you go to
the argument is though, why do you? What if the sun is just a rotating object? It goes like in certain circuits, but like a spotlight over the Earth. Then why isn't it getting? Why isn't it just slowly dissipating out of our field of vision and like becoming more apparent as it comes into view? It shouldn't be coming up over a horizon or going down over horizon. Like the Bible actually says that the sun rises and falls, so it goes up and down. Whereas if the earth was flat, it would come in and out. There's a difference. Has different effects on the eyes. You see it differently.
Well, all right. This is similar to the boat argument, right? Where if you're sitting at the beach and then you watch the boat and it disappears over the horizon, right? But you could do this 3 times because I could sit there at the beach and I could watch a boat disappear over the horizon with my naked eyes, and I could go get a pair of binoculars and I could zoom back up to the boat again. But I just watched it disappear with my naked eyes.
Is that your answer? That's not good. That's not good for an answer.
The same thing. Right. Because you're talking about the sun.
If you get a highly powerful telescope, the most expensive, top grade that you can possibly get, you will eventually reach a point where you cannot see that boat.
That's right. But you already watched it disappear 3 or 4 or 5 times, depending on the level of optics you have. But it was still there. So all you did is because there's also things like that'll block it. The atmosphere has water, so just the water from the atmosphere will make it disappear.
Yeah, at a certain distance, yeah, you get so far away, it's just not going to be feasible. But when you're bringing it in, like with the pair of binoculars, and then you go get like a telescope and you bring it in even further, the fact that you have to do that shows that the Earth's not flat. Because why would you have to do that? Like, if the sun is falling out of vision, you don't have binoculars or anything, and it's going down. Okay, you see the full circle, and it slowly goes down. Well, that's not going to change with the telescope. The boat is still going to go down out of your sight, regardless of what kind of lens that you're using. At whatever distance.
Wait. So you think that if you watch the sunset with your eyes and then you get a pair of binoculars or a telescope, you don't think it'll come back up into view?
It will, because you're following the curvature of the Earth. You're getting closer and closer. You're farther away, it's going to go down until you get closer. And then so you're still seeing a curvature either way. It's not just slowly going out of sight or coming into vision, regardless of what lens you're using. However close you're zoomed in, it's going to go down and it's going to go up.
But like same thing I said with the boat, right? Like naked eyes, I could watch the sunset, and then if I had a telescope, I could get the sun back in, even though I can't see it no more with my eyes.
Why are you repeating that though? Because I've just given an argument. Why is there like no resolution? It's like you just go back to that the underlying argument that I was refuting in the first place. As like you're stating as a fact again. So even though I've already offered an argument, you're like, yeah, but it's a fact that what I said happened. Wait a minute.
Yeah. What's your argument, bro?
If you zoom in with the binoculars, it's still going to go down. And if you zoom even closer with the telescope, it's still going to go down.
Yeah. Well, that's just the way what do they call that? Perspective works. Like if you're in a tunnel, the walls are gonna merge to the center, and then the ceiling and the floor are gonna merge to the center, and the floor is flat. So everything's always gonna be merging towards the center point. You know what I'm talking with that?
No, it doesn't make sense.
Just looking down the tunnel, looking down the long tunnel.
Yeah, that's a great example, because the longer you get, eventually you just will not be able to see the light that is at the end of that tunnel if you get far enough away.
Correct.
But what's not going to happen is you get close enough to where you can see it and it starts coming up or down. Like it's just going to go out of your vision and then slowly come back into your vision. You move in, you move out. It's not going to rise and fall.
I can share my screen real quick.
Yeah.
I mean, if I took some binoculars here, I could kind of bring in this hole and make it, to the little light at the end of the tunnel, and bring it back up into view. You know what I mean? Like that's just the way perspective works. When you're looking down something, the floor and the roof are gonna meet, and then the left and the right side are gonna meet. That's just the way our vision works.
Yeah, but it's not. It's going out of sight though, and coming into sight, not up and down. The shape of it is not changing into like a crescent, and then slowly just going out of sight over the horizon. Like it's not happening. That would happen if the sun was a stationary object, like moving, or not stationary, but moving in a path away from us, so that if it goes out of sight, well, if it's not going up or down, if the Earth isn't turning and it's not giving the image that it's going up and down, well, then it should just keep moving away like this light at the end of the tunnel. It should neither rise or fall, but just remain still until it either goes out of sight or comes in to sight.
I'm not sure I understand your argument, honestly. Like there's tunnels with like lights at the ceiling, and even though they're the same height, they still go down to your vanishing point, which is that center point where everything meets. Basically, they call it the vanishing point. Let me see if there's one here. Here's one. So yeah, even though the light appears to be going down in this picture, The tunnel is the same height. It's just again, that's just kind of how our perspective works. It's not the light's not going down. It's just the further away it moves, it appears to be moving down, and that's just the way our perspective works.
No, that's not the way that perspective works at
Well,
all.
you see this first light up here is up, right? It looks like it's high, and then you see the last light you could see down there looks low, and it's when it gets to your vanishing point that it vanishes. You can't see it no more. Here's another one.
Right. But it
Here's
doesn't
the lights
it
up
doesn't change
when they're close
shape.
to you. When they're close to you, they appear to be high, and the closer they get to your vanishing point, they appear to get lower. And I don't know. I think I'm addressing your argument. No.
Yeah, well, it's not changing shape though. The light at the end of the tunnel is just going out of view. It's not changing shape. Like you start out with a full circle, and then it becomes a half circle, and then slowly no circle at all. It's not what's and going out of your view.
Hold on. You're saying the sun becomes a half sun when you're watching the set? Because that's not what happens. The sun remains a circle the whole time.
Yeah, not like a full circle though. What are you talking about?
It's always kind of like a full circle. Oh, I get what you're saying. When it hits your vanishing point, it appears like a half sun sometimes. Yeah, it's getting super late, bro.
All right then.
But usually if you're watching a set, maybe at the beach. That's probably better because a tree would easily explain that. Right? If the sun goes in the way, then you wouldn't see it anymore.
I'm not sure. With my analogy with the ant going over the orange ball, I think that satisfies me. Just
let's see if that's a good time lapse. This one looks kind of good. YouTube. It's a sunrise. Nah, bro. You know what? We got to schedule a debate because I gotta go to bed. It's late.
no, we can get into more of it Wednesday after the end times discussion. So, everybody, thanks for watching. This is Iger TV and Christopher Silvius, and God bless America.
Peace.